Welcome. I have a new intro that's not new, but it's new to me, so I'll play it for you. I don't know who uses that.
Dude, I have my AirPods out. I put them back in, then you played it and it blasted my ears again.
Get over
it. It's a clean intro though. It's nice.
It's very clean.
Yeah, it's not too long. It sounds pretty good and it looks good. So it checks all the boxes.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the brand new Ask DLF. It's 7:30 now. Yeah. I see that there are no questions in the chat. I am not above making the show 10 seconds. So,
we're at 50 though. We're at 55.
You are above it. Yeah, he's making a good point. We can't make it 10 seconds.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
Now a minute. You had me in a minute, but you lost your opportunity.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it's a new time. You can't expect people to put in pre put together questions. People don't adjust that well. They have habits. That they got to reset. And at least that's how I am.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, we will see. I'm used to this being the most active chat on YouTube. Yeah. We'll see.
They'll be coming, Tyler. Don't you?
I hope so.
I feel confident.
So,
Tyler, can I ask you a question?
I'll allow it.
I see some questions actually coming in now, but I'm sure you talked about it immensely yesterday. How are we feeling about DeAndre Swift?
Actually, I don't think we did.
Really? Okay, because I missed your show yesterday.
I really don't. Yeah, the show just wasn't the same without you.
Oh well.
The shows where you're on is better. I think you really improved the show, but luckily you're going to be here permanently.
I appreciate you saying that, and I plan on sticking around. So don't you worry.
Yeah, you have the most energy.
Sometimes.
Even though you're the old man of the group.
I am old. I am old as crap. I'm 30 years old, but I love fantasy football, and you're not going to stop me from talking about it or DeAndre Swift.
Well, I'm not.
I think the age of my organs.
I know you're trying to delay the question. I know you don't want to talk about.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not delaying it. That's a big lie. Fake news.
All right.
Fake news. I don't approve of that. Yeah. Well, get used to it. This is gonna be the time forever. So I do recognize this is the first week of this time, but this is it forever. Just to some discussion of why the time has changed just quickly. 9 o'clock is late for me. It was, it was not 9 o'clock because that was convenient for me. It was 9 o'clock because that's when Cal, who lives in the central time zone, usually was able to get back and reliably be here, to start the show at that time. That's why it was 9 o'clock. For me, if you notice, oftentimes around 10, 30, 11 my time, I started to run out of gas. It's just a little late to start the show at 9.
Last season, we'd say that's early.
Yes, we used to record starting at 1 a.m. or 12:30 or whatever, whenever I was done with whatever I was doing.
But nuts for that.
I know that was insane. Ryan, if for people who don't know what we're talking about, Ryan and I during the 2021 season, we recorded our what is now the Monday recap that I do on my channel. We recorded that at after all the games were done on Sunday. And we would go for like 2.5 hours.
The chat was pretty popping too.
I was surprised, considering we were a new channel at the time. The chat was popping, but unfortunately, we got to get used to the new time. This is just so much better for me. I always felt like I was half asleep by the end of the show. This is better for at least Josh. Hutch, goes to school,
it's
so
definitely better for me.
Better for you. Why is it better for you? We didn't.
Well,
really ask.
Look, it's kind of a strange thing because I am a night owl. Actually, I stay up pretty late, but when it comes to, so you would think it's strange that like a show being later, it might make more sense for my schedule. But nighttime is like my time. I like to relax.
I like that.
I like to just. I don't want to. I barely I don't get on social media. I don't want to really talk to a lot of people.
Social media, but
I like staying up late, but I'd start losing energy myself, kind of just like you, probably around 10:30. 11.
Yeah, I don't really like doing like recorded live shows in the morning or super late. I record most of them. Like,
if you made me choose which one, I wouldn't want to do either, but I would choose the morning.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'm as bad as I am at night. I am a terror in the morning.
Once if I know it's just like it's happening in the morning, I can do it. It's going to be annoying.
Why I
but once
don't do a Sunday morning start sit show, because it's just there's so many problems with that show anyway. But even if there were not all of those problems, that show would have to have the viewers that Ask DLF used to have to make it worth it for me to do that show. Because it throws me so far out of whack to do that show. So with the show at 7:30, I will try to have start sit done before the show. Now there's, this time is going to continue throughout the offseason. During the offseason, it's going to be better even because there's no rush for me to have start sit and Dynasty rankings update completed for the start of the show. The show is at 7:30 and then it'll be convenient. But for the next few weeks, I'm going to try to have start sit and Dynasty rankings done by 7:30. So for any patrons listening, they are updated in this case. You can reference what I'm going to be speaking about in terms of rankings, start sit or Dynasty. You can reference that on the Patreon. If you're interested, I'm always welcoming new patrons. I know there's no off season, as DLF says. And, I do feel like my Patreon is actually more popular during the off season than it is during the season. I get very few new patrons in season. And I do feel like, there's more signups during the offseason.
You know what they say? They try to put down their startups, but everyone always cranks them up.
Oh, always. Joining
less leagues, you always end up in more.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Tails all the time.
Steelers defense or Bucks defense this week?
Let's facing backups.
It's a great
question. Let's see. Let me go to the ranks. I have them back to back. Great. Steelers at 8 and Bucks at 9. So I have the Steelers.
I'd say Steelers as well.
I have the opposite. I have Bucks at 8 and Steelers at 9. And I'm a Ravens fan. I know the Steelers are playing the Ravens, and no Lamar Jackson this upcoming week. Tyler Huntley is not Lamar Jackson. There's not going to be a lot of scoring in that game. But the Bucks are playing the 49ers, who I do think are going to be able to drive the ball maybe a little bit better than the Ravens. I think it's going to be very similar. I would go with the Bucks personally, but it's a coin flip for me. So
I like them both.
Yeah,
it's hard not
I do too.
They both
the Bucks defense has just been just a better defense over the course of the season. I know the Steelers are better with TJ Watt, so it's close.
Very.
Okay. Moreau or Dulcich, half PPR?
An easy one.
Yeah,
I would go
Dulcich easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, Dulcich is starting to move into that like guaranteed production zone.
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned that I'm a Ravens fan, and I just got to watch that outstanding Broncos-Ravens game this past weekend. I'm being sarcastic if you can't tell, but Dulcich looked really freaking good, and I know he's been good throughout the season. He impressed me in this game. He's impressed me previously. It's an easy start for him over Moreau. Moreau had a awesome matchups the last couple of weeks, and he's been fine. Dulcich just has so much more upside, and I think close to a very similar floor to Moreau.
Yeah, I'd also say like I have Dulcich at tight end 6 and Moreau at tight end 9, but they're not. That sounds tight end 6, tight end 9. Yeah. That's close, but it's not. Yeah. Those players are very, very far away from me. They're not close at all. Oh, that was fast. Hutch is here.
Yeah,
I wonder
I would personally say that Dulcich is closer to like Dalton Schultz, closer to that tier of player, that's above him than Foster Moreau. Yeah, well, after you get past Greg Dulcich, it kind of drops off, right?
Yeah,
it depends on if you include George Kittle in that group or not.
Yeah, George Kittle makes me nervous. He would be right there. I would rather start him over Foster Moreau still.
Hutch, you're here.
Now he's not.
He's doing this.
Now he's not. Oh no!
Claire, he's back.
I'm sorry.
He's back. No, don't be sorry. I won't allow it.
I had to grab a charger for my phone because it's almost dead. I might have to use it at some point.
Yo, I like the hoodie.
Thank you for apologizing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're looking good, man.
Thank you.
I like that hoodie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stylish.
I'm like, thank you. I've never worn this in your live stream before. It doesn't match my hat at all, but I don't care because my hair sucks.
It doesn't. But I like it. I like it.
I'll allow it. Go Birds.
Go Birds. That's right.
Rape.
All right. So yeah, no, we're gonna have some very special guests on Ask DLF in the future.
I'm not special now. Come on, I'm kidding.
I thought about that in the back of my head when I was saying it. I thought about that when I was saying it. I was like, can I say this? It's too mean. You're special to me. You wore the sweatshirt I asked for.
No.
Oh no, you didn't.
I told you.
Well, I take it back then. I take it back. Then you're not special. I take it back.
Cream's my color.
Yeah. But yeah, so 7:30 Eastern every week. We'll see. I can tell you if the time changes again, it's going to be earlier, not later. It's never moving back the other direction. But I don't plan on changing the time again. Let's see. This also gives me the ability to do a 4-hour show. Not saying that we're going to, but it does give me the ability to do it. If for whatever reason the chat is very active.
Yeah, there's definitely the ability to do it.
Because I feel like 11:30 is like cut for cut time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to do a 4-hour show, but this gives us ability
to do the math real fast. I had to just make sure.
Well, usually 11:30 is when we would cut the show when it started at 9.
Yeah.
But this gives us the ability to comfortably do a 3-hour show. 10:30 is totally fine. And I understand. Usually people, I did put up the stream early this week so people could note the new time. I put out a promotional post. DLF did one. So, but I understand that no matter what we do, people are going to get used to the time change. The good news is that it's a little of enough change that if you tune in at 9, we'll probably still be here. So that'll help. But yes, it will start at 7:30. Okay. From James, thoughts on Breece Hall in Dynasty? I'm a 7-6 team with 2 firsts and 2 seconds in 2023. Are we holding or trading? Well, what do we think? Or what about that one? What do we think about that one? What would you do with Breece Hall?
This team with 7-6 with 2 firsts, 2 seconds, it seems like you're kind of in the middle. There's no definite
never want to be there, right?
Or definite rebuild. So it's definitely interesting here. I mean, 7-6, you're probably a playoff team. I mean, you're probably in there. I mean, I don't know. This is really, really tough since you're right in the middle. It's kind of hard because if you're a strong win now kind of team, Breece Hall is someone that I might want to sell instead of hold on to since he's not going to help you this year. But if you're a rebuild, Breece Hall is a great option to have on your team. But right in the middle, it's definitely tough. I mean, obviously, don't sell him for nothing. If you get a great deal, take it. But I don't know if I'd be super desperate to sell him. I think he's just a great piece.
Yeah,
and I think I'd be willing to keep him.
I don't really want to sell him. I mean, if I'm selling him, I better get a very, very strong return.
Yeah, if you're selling, you better be getting a strong return.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give him away for nothing.
Top 5 running back value at the very least, right?
I hope
it seems like James having some trouble determining if he's a rebuild or maybe he should go for the shot. We don't have a lot of context here, James, but you got to be honest with yourself. If your team just isn't that good, don't sell Breece Hall to try to go for it now. Don't sell Breece Hall cheap to try to go for it now, at least. If you're getting appropriate value, it could make sense, but I wouldn't try to hurt your team with this by selling Breece Hall for going for the shot right now. It sounds like.
We need more context. You're right.
Yeah.
Like maybe he just ran into some bad luck with some injuries. Maybe he's getting players back like Jamar Chase or whatnot. But it's tough. We need more.
Yeah, it's tough.
There absolutely could be a 7-6 team out there. This could be it. That is ready to win a championship right now.
Jamar Chase, Hollywood Brown coming back, like all those guys.
Maybe like Justin Fields even. He didn't help you at all the first half of the season, and now he is. It looks like he's a stud. I mean, he is a stud. So, there's definitely certain situations where this could be the case.
You got Breece, Javonte, Etienne, looking to land Bijan. Weird league where I can start 2 running backs tops. I don't like that at all. I like a league with a lot of flex spots.
Or no flex, or
a lot of flex.
2 running backs tops, so it's all flex.
So he doesn't. Yeah, but I'm saying I would prefer a league that has.
Yeah,
more
Tyler's saying he'd prefer that. Maybe it's just
I would prefer to have more flex.
Yeah, I prefer. Great. Yeah, a lot of flexes are great. I don't know. This is a weird format. Who should you look to move with a bunch? I mean,
for me,
I would move Javonte as well.
Well,
I think
if you're choosing between these, it's easily Javonte.
Yeah, if you're going to trade one of these, it's easily Javonte. His injury is not a clean ACL. It looks pretty messy, and that's going to be dangerous coming into this year. And it's been 2 years now. Like it's been like, I mean, and it doesn't, that doesn't sound very long, but for running back years, that's like 5 years as a wide receiver. Like it's like his career is like almost halfway done. Like that's where we're at. Like it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous how that works in the running back position, but that's really how it is. And this offense just doesn't look as good as we thought it was going to be. I just don't think that he's like, I think that you're going to be able to sell him for a lot more than he's worth.
I think that's it summed up. I mean, it's the offense that he's coming back to next year. Even if everything goes perfectly, he's healthy going into next season, which he's probably not going to be fully healthy. But even if he is,
I expect like a J.K. Dobbins type of like weird recovery.
And that's the thing. Let's just say it is perfect. He goes back next year. All these guys go back next year, and he's playing with the Denver Broncos offense. Offensive line's horrible. They're locked into Russell Wilson. He's playing like crap. There's really not much to get excited about with the Broncos offense right now. So I think I could get excited about the New York Jets offense. I can get excited about the Jags. Bijan just being Bijan. So, however, I think you're, probably if most people are ranking Javonte last out of all these guys as well.
Well, I think everyone pretty much.
Yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are always people who like to say ridiculous things to be ridiculous, but I don't like to be.
But you could still get really good value for Javonte in most leagues, and I'd be very willing to do that.
Depends on the league, though. Some people aren't interested.
Wait till the offseason, maybe. I think once the offseason hits, you'll probably be able to get more value for him, just because people aren't worried about this season at all. They're like, okay, what's going to happen in the future? So
yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Jesse says 30. Man, I'm about to be 34. I feel old.
Hey, Jesse. Listen,
Jesse,
30 is not old. People like telling me I'm old. I feel young.
I feel like an old man.
30 is the new 20. Come on now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm 27. I feel like an old man.
I feel young. I'm young at heart.
I'm definitely on the back 9 of my career.
No bogeys there. No bogeys.
Man, I used to say, right. Yeah. You think my best days are ahead of me?
I know they are, Tyler.
Oh man, I don't think so. We'll see. I don't know. I miss
believe it yourself, like whether it's true or not. Like,
yeah, I miss the youthful energy that I used to have, though. Like, I have to summon it now. It's not natural. Like, I have to like work to be that guy. It used to just come out. I was always like that, but now to like have really energy. I feel the age. That's why I have my 8th cup of coffee today.
You still feel young, Hutch?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say no. No.
I still feel young. I mean, definitely, like, I feel like the season has started to like wear down me a little bit, because we're like, all like starting to wear down a little bit. I'm starting to feel that. I mean, I felt it a little bit last year as well, but starting to feel that a little bit. But yeah,
I don't really feel that. I don't feel it this year. Like, it's not the season.
I feel a little bit.
It's more that this is. It's more that this is a number of seasons more than actually this season has been very
waivers earlier, and I was like, oh,
well, why do you think I don't play that many leagues? Every time I'm like during the off season, I wish I was in more leagues. I wish I was in more leagues, and then I get to the season and I'm setting waivers and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy I'm not in more leagues. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is horrible. Like, I hate waivers.
I said I would cut it down because last year was in 20 plus. I said I would cut it down, and I'm still in like 18.
20 exactly.
I'm in less than 5.
Yeah, I wish I would. I mean, I don't know if less than 5, but I wish I was in like
I enjoy my retirement. Retirement is really good for me in terms of playing.
Having said all this, this is the first week where I felt like really worn down. Like I didn't even I've got to go check my waivers after the show. That might be it too. Ryan. But
those Donovan Knights for you to go after.
I just didn't even feel like doing the whole process, going through all this. Oh man. But I did it, kind of.
14 teams start 11. Superflex PPR league. I'm in first with absolutely awful quarterbacks. Pickett, Zach Wilson. Does it make sense to send Olave, Wilson for Carr and McLaurin? No. I want Olave.
He's so good.
Yeah. Olave,
is too premium for me.
That is so tough because McLaurin has really started to show out lately with Taylor Heineke at quarterback. And like because you're first, so you're looking for a championship.
It helps them this year for sure.
Because you're looking for a championship this year because you're in first place, and this helps you get to that championship. Not that Derek Carr is going to be elite difference maker, but he's at least going to help you with your quarterback situation. Because in a Superflex league, if you have Pickett and Zach Wilson, only one of those guys are a starting quarterback in the NFL right now.
I know.
Like, you don't have a second quarterback. Like, that's
you're not going to win this league.
I don't think you're going to win this league.
It's impossible. Like, it's pretty much impossible to win this league if you don't have Derek Carr and Terry McLaurin. That's a good
point. But is he going to win it with Carr? Like, is Carr?
Yeah, is Carr going to get him there? That's the problem. I think I would try to. Oh man, I would try to send less. I think I would try to send less or try to like gain more. But if you can't,
but like sending less is like not sending Zach Wilson. Like, was that what you're looking to do?
Or maybe a different wide quarterback. They're going to hold you basically, the top standard of what they could get, and this is pretty much it. So you're in a tough spot, Blake. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, this is a very tough spot. I think I'd be willing to take this offer. I'd be willing to take it because you're going for the championship this year. You're not going to win it with Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett as your two starting quarterbacks.
If you're watching this video on Twitter, don't. I put it up on Twitter so more people would see it, but find one of the YouTubes. I can find a way to give you the link to that. But don't watch it on Twitter.
Don't watch it on Twitter. And look, just to sum that last one up, Tyler said no, Hutch said yes.
I mean, you were in the middle somewhere.
I'd be willing. No, I'm not saying I'd be willing to.
But my vote counts. My vote counts for 4. So then it's no.
Okay, I'll say do it then, just to simply even it out a little bit.
Yes, do it.
No, but since my vote counts for 4, then it doesn't.
No, but actually, like if your team is really good in every other area, you really think this sets you over the edge, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, because how is it going to set you over the edge? I mean, your quarterback is so weak. Still, you're going to win with that. It's going to be tough.
I know, but if you're in first place and looking to win this year, if a little bit of overpay to get to that championship to help you get there is worth it.
Well, we have no idea how good the team still is. I mean,
yes, he's got to do. Blake here has to do some analysis on his own team.
If
he really thinks he can get there,
don't do it.
Trade. It could also be a cup team. There are a lot of cup teams out there that are still in first place because they were doing so well, but without cup, they're not it.
But I'm going to actually agree with Hutch on that one. If it actually is a really good team, I'm okay with it. I really.
Well, I think that winning is important. I think that we should promote winning.
Yeah,
and we don't want failure. We don't want failure.
Draft picks.
Failure is bad. Like J.K. Dobbins, we don't want that. I
thought he was going to say Paris Campbell. I dodged that until I just brought it up.
I love how well I actually listened to Hutch's entire podcast today. And I was listening to it to try to look for things that I could bring up. But all he did was I got distracted by like the 3 times he mentioned me. And then I was like, I forgot about everything else. So I didn't come up with anything. Oops.
I did mention Tyler a couple times.
That's my favorite part about your show. So the offhand references to me. Yeah, your offhand references. Usually about something I got wrong, by the way. So you're making me look very good on your show. I look so smart.
Oh, sorry.
All right.
I don't mean to. I don't bash you.
I'm kidding.
I don't bash you, Tyler.
I'm well past the point.
Tyler's a loser.
See, that's the way to do it, right to my face when I'm here.
What? Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's why you're here, Josh.
This is a no fantasy at all.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would say that, Lamar and Godwin for if you haven't noticed, and I think this is I said this on yesterday's show, and this is probably just the reality of life now. We're probably gonna, without Cal and Addison to keep me on track, we're probably gonna talk about more nonsense on this show than in the past. It is what it is. It's a long show. I feel like we should have some entertaining moments, and I don't want it to get dry. So, it is what it is.
No one
We're
wants
human.
it dry. No one wants it dry.
Okay.
Next question.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar and
Godwin.
Okay, look. I'll answer. This is an easy one for me. I would rather have Lamar and Godwin. I would rather have Lamar over Lawrence, and I'd rather have Godwin over Cooper. So
it's not even. I'd rather have the quarterback over the quarterback. Like Lamar over Lawrence, Godwin over Cooper. Very simple.
It's not hard.
Like it's not even close.
Yep.
No.
Even if Lamar goes somewhere else this offseason, sorry, Josh.
I will give Lawrence credit though. He is great.
He's been better.
It's realistic.
Lawrence has been great this year. He's a top 10 quarterback on the year right now in most scoring.
Better than Lamar, maybe?
No, not better than Lamar. Not saying he's better than Lamar.
He might have more fantasy points than Lamar at this point now. Like it's close, I'm sure.
Well, Lamar has really been a big failure lately.
You could put Lawrence and Lamar in the same tier in Dynasty. I think you definitely could.
You could.
I think they are.
Yeah, you could put them in the same tier in Dynasty.
No, I think they are in the same tier.
But Godwin is far above Cooper. To me.
Cooper's impressed the hell out of me this season. I'll tell you that much.
He has really impressed. I really doubted him.
But I agree with you. I do agree with you.
It's really. Honestly, between Godwin and Amari, they probably are farther apart than they should be. But the age, it is like 1 year, a year and a half probably makes more difference than it should. Like they probably are. Like if I'm looking at where I have them ranked,
Cooper's been in the league so long, he feels older.
Well, sure, but that doesn't matter.
Much older.
Yeah. If I had my choice of the two, like I don't know, I feel like I would rather draft Amari Cooper at his price than Chris Godwin at his. But it also
they are pretty separated in draft costs, especially like if Deshaun Watson does turn out. Because he hyper targeted Amari Cooper when he could. Like he gave Amari Cooper 9 targets in that past game. In the first game there. So, and then we have Godwin, dealing with quarterback situation. Where is Tom Brady going next year? Like, is he still going to be a Buccaneer? We have no idea. And he's going to retire. Like, we don't know. So that's a very interesting part of it as well. I think Godwin's price is like when Tom Brady leaves, I think Godwin is actually going to take a significant price dip to the point where it's actually smart to buy him.
You think so?
Like Godwin's going to be someone that I want to buy next offseason in Dynasty because I think the price dip when Tom Brady leaves, if he leaves, is going to be that dip is going to be massive.
Yeah,
I agree.
So Godwin's someone I'm looking at as a buy.
I agree with everything you said, actually.
What is this?
This is such a ridiculous trade.
Yeah, it's a lot of things.
I don't even know what Debbie was making me laugh.
How old is Sam?
Yeah, it's Justin Fields.
Like we can clean it up a little bit. Pickett,
Shipley,
23 first.
Yeah, it's a bunch of garbage. It's a bunch of mid or garbage besides the late 23 first for Justin Fields.
And 201.
Yeah.
Okay, 201. I mean, Kenny Pickett as well in a super
flex. Kenny Pickett is good. You want
flex?
Kenny Pickett. It
doesn't say super flex, does it?
I assumed it was, but it doesn't say that. And that actually changes everything, and it's not Justin Fields now.
Yeah, it's not Justin Fields if it's a one quarterback league.
It can't be.
If it's a super flex league, it's Justin Fields.
This trade makes no sense.
Super flex isn't Justin Fields.
What are your dynasty thoughts on Skyy Moore and David Bell? I have a roster trying to decide on them. Well,
David Bell is pretty much dead to me at this point.
Why?
He's showed pretty much nothing.
More than Skyy Moore.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, Skyy Moore's at least had a couple okay games lately.
They've shown the same amount. I think
targets.
It's both not bad. Really. Not really, actually. I mean, yes, they've shown the same amount, but Skyy Moore is on the team with Patrick Mahomes, and he's still done nothing.
That's exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's on the team with Pat Mahomes.
They've actually shown almost identical things.
Only if David Bell didn't run the 40.
Except with David Bell, it's come more a couple catches a game throughout the whole year. Whereas with Skyy Moore, there's only been a couple games where he's had any involvement, but he did better in those.
Yeah. So, I mean, coming into the season.
What happened to David Bell in the last game? What happened in the last one? Did he get hurt? Because he only played 5% of snaps.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he did.
What happened? Why? Was there an injury that I don't know about? I mean, an injury to him wouldn't have been publicized.
He had a hand injury.
He left with a hand injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not that excited about David Bell, but I'm not really excited about Skyy Moore. It had been interesting, though,
because after the bye week, he had seen 3 straight games of 5+ targets after the bye week.
And he was on the field more. And I think going into the season, I was like David Bell with Jacoby Brissett. Now Jacoby Brissett exceeded expectations.
I was not a David Bell guy at all. Like I never.
No, I wasn't. I thought he wouldn't do anything with Jacoby Brissett. That's my point. And Jacoby Brissett exceeded expectations. I was like, let's see what happens when Deshaun Watson gets acclimated in this offense.
I like what the fantasy footballers this year say about Deshaun Watson. They call him Voldemort.
Yes, that is great. He must not be named. I would love to call Deshaun Watson that.
Wow.
David Bell, I think, is a fine buy low. I don't think anyone could ask much for him, and I'm excited to do anything.
He's cost nothing at this point.
He's a roster
for Skyy Moore. The name and the fact that he's on the Chiefs, he's gonna get. If you wanted to trade for Skyy Moore, you got to pay a lot more for Skyy Moore than David Bell. A lot more.
Well, that's true, but I have Skyy Moore ranked higher than David Bell,
and I think that's fine because of the upside in the Chiefs' offense. Right?
Well, I like Skyy Moore better to begin with. I like Skyy Moore better as a prospect. He was drafted earlier.
Yeah, definitely was drafted earlier. Skyy Moore.
But I like Skyy Moore significantly better as not even close. Skyy Moore was a player I wanted, and David Bell was not a player I didn't want. I don't think I was as low on him maybe as some. Oh, we have this $25 super chat. All right, well, we'll go to that.
Holy crap!
You're gonna get on the Wall of Fame.
The wall.
How do I?
You want me to get naked? I'll do it.
What?
What?
Okay. It's money, man. It's money. I'll take it.
I need more money than that. If we up it to $250, I'll consider it.
I'll decline every time.
Yes, because remember that
I'm 16.
Yeah.
I would get you guys in trouble.
Yeah. Well, not. I mean, this is the DLF channel.
So I'm allowed to, but I can't. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm out. Thanks, Frank. You're the man, Frank.
Yeah, Frank.
Frank.
I appreciate you. And anyone who gets on Addison's Wall of Fame, Addison's not here to talk about it, but if you put in a super chat, although it would be really sad. This is simulcast on my channel, so not sad. I mean, I would love if someone put a $25 super chat in my YouTube. But it would be very interesting to find out that this was actually $25 to me. But either way, I appreciate it. And yeah, new crew. So yeah, it'll be me, Josh, and Hutch. And then I will, not every show. I mean, I would like to have a guest on every show. That's going to be the ideal, is to have exactly a 4-person show. That's going to be my goal. But we will not have a guest on every show. I do already have a guest booked for next week. And I don't think Josh and Hutch know who that is, but it is going to be a very, very exciting day.
Joke's on you guys. It's me again. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. No. Let's go.
It's not. You will.
Wall of Fame, because
Conan will be on here
race
soon.
Board right here. I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
Yeah, Conan will be on here soon. Other Josh.
Love Conan.
I think he's just other Josh.
Josh.
Unfortunately.
Josh is the man.
Yeah, but I feel like we always call him Other Josh because you're there more often.
Yeah.
So yeah, Other Josh from my show, and then I do have a couple of other guests in mind. Obviously, Addison, if you'd ever like to come back.
But next week it's gonna be a fun surprise guest, huh?
Yeah. Well, I know who it is. Not a surprise to me.
I know you know who it is. Yeah, I don't think you'd just be like, I don't know who it is, but it's gonna be real exciting. You know, it's gonna be awesome.
I would. It's actually very much something I would do.
You know what?
But not the case.
I wouldn't know.
So players off waivers and stash for 2023. So it's a good question. Because if you're eliminated from the playoffs, you're looking at this stage. Let's say you're in a league with a trade deadline. The trade deadline has passed. Done. You have to look towards next year. So if you're picking up players off waivers, like DeAndre Carter, right? I don't think he's still on waivers. But if you're looking toward next year, maybe that's not the player you would pick. You know, that's someone who's already 29. Matt Collins, like maybe these are players also 29. These are players, maybe not those players that you might want to replace them with who could have been dropped. So let's start by looking at the quarterbacks in Superflex. So if somehow, I find this hard to believe, but if somehow Matt Corral was dropped in a league that has no IR, I would look at him. Obviously, Carolina's going to look at another investment at the quarterback position, but you just never know. He did have day 2 capital. You want to get those guys on your team. You never know when an opportunity is going to come up. He hasn't had an opportunity. He's someone I would look at. I would have said Tyler Huntley, but obviously that's a different conversation now.
Yeah.
You know,
any of the rookie quarterback. I mean, that were
drafted. Bailey Zappi. If Bailey Zappi was dropped, there is a lot of frustration inside the Patriots building with Mac Jones.
With Mac Jones,
they are not happy.
I don't love
him.
No.
I'm not saying that's going to result in Bailey Zappi starting, but he was okay when he came in. So someone I could.
I doubt it, Nate. I doubt Sam Howell would be available in any leagues.
I doubt it either, but I'd rather have Bailey Zappi.
I'd rather have Bailey Zappi as well. Yeah. But Sam Howell, I mean, he's a rookie. He's a rookie this year. Could get an opportunity possibly because Carson Wentz will probably be gone pretty soon.
Yeah.
Like maybe, but I don't think he'd be available. But yeah, I can't really think of any other names that Tyler.
Well, those are quarterbacks. I mean, in terms of other suggestions,
any of the rookie quarterbacks, I would say.
Yeah, any of the rookies.
No, I have other names. Jake Ferguson, a tight end from Dallas.
Absolutely.
Dalton Schultz is an impending free agent. We don't know what he's gonna do. We'll see. Noah Gray.
Yeah.
He's actually looked decent in limited opportunities. He's stuck behind Travis Kelce in Kansas City, but you never know. If Travis Kelce were ever to go down, Noah Gray is one injury away from a big role, kind of like what Foster Moreau is having now.
What about I think his name is Durham Smith.
Durham Smythe? No, Durham Smythe. No. Durham Smythe is terrible.
And Mike Gesicki, if Mike Gesicki goes, that could be an opportunity.
Durham Smythe is abysmal. He's mostly a blocker. He's just a guy. He can't play any receiver in the NFL. So no Durham Smythe. Hunter Long is more interesting, but he's done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's done nothing.
2 years. Nothing. And neither of those are on my list.
I'm shocked you didn't bring up Brock Purdy yet.
Well, Brock Purdy, I feel like is not in this. Brock Purdy, we're not looking to stash for 2023. We're on Brock Purdy. We're on
he's
this
not going
to
be stashed.
No, but you would stash him to see what you have.
If he's on your waiver wire, which
but
he
doesn't really meet the
Superflex league.
Well, I'm sure he's the number one waiver claim in most Superflex leagues, but he doesn't really meet the spirit of this question, which is looking for.
He's only 8% roster on Sleeper, so I had to bring him.
Well, yeah, he's the number one waiver claim anyway, but that's the spirit of this question. I think is players who you could stash now who are going to break out next year. Chigoziem Okonkwo.
I wanted to say I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I wasn't going to try.
I went for it. Bold move to go for it. So that's another one tight end out of the Tennessee. The Tennessee. That's something like that.
Tennessee.
The Tennessee.
Yeah, Austin Hooper's not long for that team.
No, he sucks.
No, he's not
Khalil Shakir. He hasn't really done anything, but if he was dropped, I still think he's worth a spot. Keontae Ingram. The Cardinals moved on from Eno Benjamin, so he's a name might have been dropped before they moved on from Eno Benjamin. If he's out there, someone I would look at. James Conner is kind of always made of glass, so you never know. An injury could happen.
Ingram could have a role this season if something happens to James Conner.
Yeah, if something happens. Yeah.
Who's made of glass, right?
Yeah. Oh, we're running out of games for something to happen. Yeah, and there's a couple other guys. I mean, I have
Keontae Ingram's the only running back on that team that has carries other than James Conner. That's not on the IR.
Jeremy Rucker, he was a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah,
he has done nothing at all.
John Mechie.
I doubt John Mechie was dropped.
Yeah, John Mechie probably wasn't dropped.
John Mechie,
maybe. You're looking at wide receiver.
Maybe. Maybe,
I mean, if he were somehow dropped, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was dropped in most leagues. But I also drafted him a lot. That was a sad injury for me.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that injury.
I think Jawan Jennings is available.
Well, wasn't
enough spots.
Jawan Jennings is just
more like
bad.
I mean, maybe Debo, revisits the whole I want to leave.
He's not revisiting it.
He's probably not available. I mean, Sleeper's telling me he's rostered 57%. Ben Skronik, he's probably not available, right?
He's also terrible. I mean, he's very good. He's very good at dropping the ball and not getting open. He's good at those things, but I don't know. Unless
he's had some productive weeks for the Rams. Like he's had some productive weeks for the Rams.
Crazy how much he's played and how little he's done in the time that he's played. It's crazy that someone out there on an offense plays as much as he has and has done nothing at all.
We just got to comment Calvin Ridley. I would doubt he's on your waiver wire, but if he is, he's not on your waiver wire though.
No, definitely not.
If he is, that's a great pickup.
But he's not though. He's on nobody's waiver wire.
There's no way he's on your waiver wire for 2020.
But yeah, I think we gave you a good assortment of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, like seriously, to sum it up, if there's any rookie that was drafted in the first 5 rounds of the NFL or your rookie draft, even
yeah, I mean, people might have cut if someone cut Hassan Haskins or Pierre Strong. I wouldn't. I usually don't cut 4th round running backs like that until they don't make the team in their second year. I mean, or they draft other guys, but I wouldn't just cut them. So if they've been cut in Dynasty, I would pick them up.
I'll just say Malik Willis, just in case,
he's not on there.
He looks so bad that I'll just throw it out there.
All right. I made a trade today, and I hope it's a good one. Well, if you ask before you make the trade, that sometimes helps. Sent Christian Watson. Oh, I don't think I'm going to like this one. No.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm not going to like this one. Sorry. Send Christian Watson, 23 third and 25 first.
So nothing else.
Devontae Adams. Competing team pushing for the title here. Yeah, I don't like this at all. I'm not sure that I would rather have Devontae. I mean, I think it's close between Devontae Adams.
Christian Watson's going to help you win a title this year.
Dynasty. Just given the age. Devontae Adams is about to go over the age cliff.
He is. And Christian Watson will help you win a title this year. Maybe not to the level of Devontae Adams. That touchdown regression has to go down. It's been 8 touchdowns in the past 4 weeks. It's just been madness. It has to go down. But, I mean, he's still going to help you win. He's the clear number 1 target in this offense. He's taking over for Allen Lazard. He's the guy.
He's not the number 1 target in this offense. Allen Lazard gets more targets still.
Really? Or the past 4 weeks, he's still been Allen Lazard?
He's had more targets, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's all I'm saying. I'm going to start Christian Watson over Allen Lazard.
And, as I always told Conan, Allen Lazard is overrated. It's be close, not a very good player. He didn't listen to me, but I tried to warn him.
Those targets are going to be close. Obviously, I'd rather start Christian Watson over Allen Lazard, but Devontae Adams is so much better than Christian Watson, so I see why you want to make this trade.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I see why. I see.
Don't do it. This is how you set yourself back multiple years.
But
these are bad things. We don't do things like this. If you're gonna get, as I always say, if you're gonna get an older talent, they better come at a discount. They should come at a discount.
This is not a discount.
This is not a discount. This is an overpay. So we're just not gonna do that. You can let someone else do that, but I'm not gonna go for that one. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
They have to have the lowest over under the week if it's 37. I haven't looked, but that's freaking low,
I think that's
man.
Something interesting to discuss with the Steelers is the Steelers, you would say, are committed to Kenny Pickett, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I think they've kind of backed themselves into a corner because I think they're going to be stuck with. I feel like Kenny Pickett
next year
is just okay. He's just okay. He's just okay. I don't think you're really going to be able to win anything with Kenny Pickett. Or if you can,
he'll be fine.
The window to win something with Kenny Pickett is only his rookie deal because you're not going to win anything with him after that.
He's going to have to win.
He's not good enough.
A good defense. I agree. It's going to have to be a great defense.
Yeah, he's not good enough. Well, you're not going to win with him beyond the rookie deal because you are never.
Because you're not going to have a great defense if you're paying him a lot of money. Yeah.
So.
Will be that time 15 mil just for
he reminds me to a degree. I mean, what is his ceiling really?
Kirk Cousins.
No, it's not even that high. It's not even that high because you could Kirk Cousins has never been on the team that happened to get loaded around him. Actually, this is probably the best team he's ever had.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's had a lot
probably.
of. If you got a little lucky with some draft picks, you got a good player here and there, plus Kirk Cousins' salary, he's good enough. You could win with him. But I feel like we're more talking Derek Carr, one step down.
That's the name that came to mind.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people would tell you that Derek Carr, like, especially prior to this year,
I think Derek
is
Carr
better than Kirk Cousins.
Well, that's just false.
At least
if
Kenny
you look
Pickett
at
can run,
that's just false.
Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr can't run. At least Kenny Pickett can run the ball.
That's a point I was going to make. Kenny Pickett.
I'm not sure that. I mean, like Kenny Pickett is.
He's not.
When you're younger, you can run the ball more. Like I get it. With was Derek Carr? I feel like Derek Carr. There was a point in Derek Carr's career. I mean, how did he ever run, or was it just a never thing?
He never really ran like Kenny Pickett, if I remember correctly. I'm not like looking at his stats right now, but he's never been the runner quite to what Kenny Pickett is. But Kenny Pickett isn't an elite runner or anything either. Like
Derek Carr never really ran all that much. I mean, his highest rushing yards in a season was 140. So,
and Kenny Pickett probably has that now, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you just don't have but I just don't think there's going to be another quarterback like Derek Carr. Like they just don't. They don't exist. You're taught to run.
Sure.
Kirk Cousins.
Think of all the top quarterbacks right now. They all run a little bit. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. They all run a little bit. So I would put Kenny Pickett in that bubble of like, if he was as good at passing as them, he would be running probably as much as that.
Kenny Pickett is not a runner at all. I mean, he's a runner as much as your average quarterback who's not a runner is told to run now.
Yeah.
Like, he's a runner as much as a quarterback coming in. Yeah. Sure. You don't think of Justin Herbert as a runner, but he's capable of it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think of Joe Burrow is actually a little more mobile before the injury.
He was.
You know, maybe Tua is kind of in the group with Pickett and Herbert.
Yeah.
You know, not. I mean, you can run if you have to, but it's not really part of your game. You have to be mobile. I mean, the quarterback. You rarely get a quarterback who just stands there. I mean, the Matt Ryans of the world are like definitely not.
Teams just colleges don't want to invest
colleges
in
are just
that
not
anymore.
churning out quarterbacks like that either. You know, there's no more Phillip Rivers. Like, it just doesn't exist. Drew Brees.
Who was Carson Strong? Got not a lot of hype, but had hype coming into this year, and he had like no running ability.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think anyone went for him.
Exactly.
But you don't have to be like, you know, we also, I don't think there's much interest in, like, there's just not going to be that many Lamar Jacksons, like, run first. That's why Malik Willis isn't working out. Because I think people aren't interested in that.
Do you put Justin Fields into that bubble?
Justin Fields, it's interesting. Justin Fields has actually still not displayed the passing acumen in the NFL that he did in college. It's actually interesting. Yeah. He's been a better runner and worse passer than his prospect profile would suggest, by far on both. Like, his prospect profile says he should have been a much better passer and not nearly the type of rusher that he's been. And
I mean, like, yeah,
he's got a lot of the receiving core that is the level like us four could.
I understand that, but
yeah,
like, I don't know. I think I'm better than
he's not even executing on what like Jalen Hurts did in 2020 and 2021, let alone not Jalen Hurts this year. The 2021 version, which was not have great weapons, and he's not even doing that. So like
I want to see Justin Fields with an elite weapon next year. I want to see where we can get back to this conversation.
But you know, maybe Justin Fields is just Lamar Jackson, and if he is, that's great for fantasy. Because he's proven that he's a lot better of a runner than I think. Everyone said he was a good runner, but I don't think people expected this level. Because he didn't do that in college, and now he is. He wasn't like Trey Lance or Lamar in college. So fast.
He's so fast.
I do think it'll be interesting to see what Justin Fields can do with some better weapons. I mean, it can't be worse, right? There literally is no way down.
No,
it cannot be worse.
The Bears are gonna have to supply him with weapons.
I wonder what the Bears. I do think the Bears are a candidate to trade down. They need so many things, and right now they pick at 2. I don't feel like nothing's going to be solved by
they don't need
player.
they don't need that.
They're a team. I also think the Bears are many years away from being a competitive team. they're a team, like they're pick at 2 right now. Like in Indianapolis, I see picks at 9. You know, Indianapolis could trade like their first, like if you could get 9 and a 24 first and maybe a second for that 2, maybe that's something you do.
Because they need to go. Indies need its quarterback. They need a quarterback so bad.
Exactly. Indianapolis was just the team I picked, but there
would be
are
a team
other.
straight up.
There are other teams. Atlanta right after them at 10.
Atlanta.
Another one. Carolina.
You don't think they'll give Desmond Ridder a shot though?
Desmond Ridder should have a shot in week 15, guys.
He should have a shot. He should have had a shot this year.
Well,
I think
that tells you everything you need to know. I think if they had any intention of going to Desmond Ridder, because I don't buy it like as a plan of winning. If they thought that Desmond Ridder was their future, he'd be better than Marcus Mariota to them right now, but they obviously don't. I think Desmond Ridder is their backup. Is like their backup and insurance policy if they can't get a quarterback, but I don't think they ever wanted Desmond Ridder to be their starter if this is how they're treating him. If he's not better,
like, if he's worse than Mariota, then
if he's worse than this version of Marcus Mariota,
good for the team. Good for the team. They get worse, you know. They improve their draft pick. If he's better and he's something, then at least you find that out. I don't know. I just think Ridder should be out there, regardless.
I think, yeah. I mean, they're a game and a half out of the
that's true.
Division, which is mind blowing to me. But I do think if they lose this next game to the Saints, it's pretty tough for them to come back from that. They'd fall to 1-4 in the division. So I do think if they lose the game to the Saints, then they might play Desmond Ridder the last 3, because then there's pretty much no chance for them to get back in.
Yeah, I want to see him. I want to see him play.
I agree. And if you don't see it, that means you're not going. If you don't see it this year, then it's over. I think
likely.
that's the way to think about it. So what about this one? I mean, are there any players rebuild teams should be looking to acquire low right now in Dynasty? Well,
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is the big name. Yeah, I would
Kyle
say that's
Pitts,
the
Breece
first
Hall.
name.
I mean,
I don't think we're gonna get Breece Hall.
Tougher because it's tougher because like running backs, like I want to stay acquire Breece Hall, but at the same time, it's like
no. My hesitation on Breece Hall wasn't that I don't want him. It's the low part.
You might not.
The low part. I don't know if I can buy Breece Hall. Because
if you're in a rebuild trading for him, maybe you can. Maybe you can.
I have not seen that. I have seen the price on Breece Hall be very high.
Maybe from
let's talk about Kyle Pitts. Just because Breece Hall, I don't see anything like this. But for Kyle Pitts, I have seen Pitts plus for Kelsey.
Wild.
Pitts plus. If you're a rebuilder, I think you do that immediately, right?
100%.
Because Kyle Pitts is injured and was bad. He was worse this year by a mile than he was last year. Whereas Breece Hall was excellent. Breece Hall was the Dynasty RB1 by a lot before he got hurt. By that point, it was not even close between him and Jonathan Taylor.
No, yeah, it was Breece Hall and nobody else.
He was already looking better. And was 2.5 years younger. So there was no competition. And so I think people are still that's how they felt. When he went out, he was at like the apex of all apexes. Whereas when Kyle Pitts went out, he was in the dumpster bin of all dumpster bins. So I think Kyle Pitts is the number one name for this question. Whereas Breece Hall, if you could buy him low, I would say go for it. But I have not seen people do that. Javonte Williams would be a name. I have seen it. I have seen Javonte Williams.
I don't want to buy him though. I just don't.
But you don't understand. What if you could buy him for 1/23 second, or even an early second? You would.
I would do that. Yeah.
I would.
Have you seen that done?
Yes, I've seen that.
That's crazy.
What if you? Well, apparently it's not so crazy, right? It's not so crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah. What if you could? I don't know. There are other examples. I mean, what about Joe Mixon? What if you could send Joe Mixon, who has, by the way, been bad for his whole career outside of 1 year, has not been good. If you could send him for Javonte Williams, you wouldn't go for that as a rebuilder? I mean, he's 4 years younger. I feel like you have to go for that.
The easiest decision.
Yeah.
Right, but these are the types of things. These are things that I've seen and helped people work through.
I don't know.
What about Dameon Pierce? What about that one? Dameon Pierce, the 4th round draft capital that he has.
That'd be a tougher one to buy.
Oh, for me, Dameon Pierce is even lower than Joe Mixon in my rankings. I don't see it with Dameon Pierce. I think he's on a fast track to being replaced. I have this 13th overall pick that Houston has. That one. I have that one circled as
how about this name though?
Bijan Robinson.
How about this name, though? This player, he's young. He's hopeful. A lot of people loved him, but he's actually been really frustrating this year. He's had a couple good games and then been way off, then had a good game, then been way off again. What about like Drake London? Same team as Kyle Pitt.
No. Drake London is worth is worth more than Javonte Williams.
To buy
him. I think he's a good buy low. I think he's a good buy low.
I think he's a really interesting buy low.
How low? What's low?
Yeah, the thing is, it's not necessarily buy. But you're not buying high though, because he hasn't played well this year. He's sucked, and he's been frustrating to have.
Well, okay, so it's a question of.
I think his value is lower than it was when you drafted him.
I don't agree. I don't agree at all. I don't think it's lower than it was. I totally disagree with that.
I think it is in a couple of leagues.
No, it is. He's played
so.
No, I think
dude went high. Dude went high.
Pretty close.
It's not.
He went like he was like the wide receiver 1 off most boards.
He was.
He was like
and the 101.
I
saw the 101 in 2 leagues.
If we trust,
he was a locked in top 4 pick. It was Breece Hall, Ken Walker, Garrett Wilson, and Drake London. Those are the 4.
If we trust me, I have him ranked higher than when he was drafted.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
Smart.
It's just the Dynasty community. I don't think they see him that way.
So we would have to look at we can't look at your rankings for a buy low,
right? But you're talking about someone who just
higher, you know?
Right, but you're talking about someone who just this last week finally had a good game. So
yeah, this is not the buy low opportunity right now.
I think if you'd asked this question last week, I think you would have had more luck.
Yes,
because I think some people could say that like this is the start of they saw that it was a problem and they saw that Drake London at the beginning of the year was helping them, compete in games, and now they're going to try to get back to that.
Because once Atlanta gets a quarterback, his value is going to shoot so high.
We also have ridiculous expectations for what a rookie wide receiver should do.
Yeah, definitely. The Dynasty community does, and that's why I want to buy Drake London.
I think we should look at Drake London a little differently. What if we look at it this way? What if Drake London, we see that he has 81 of the 290 targets on the year for Atlanta? What if we look at it that way? That is what? I mean, that's like a 30% target share or so. As
His
a rookie,
it's ridiculous.
Right, but as a rookie, a rookie receiver on a bad offense, 30% target share. I mean, he is currently 533 of the 2,219 passing yards recorded. So that's a little bit under 25% of yards recorded. I mean, that's for a rookie, that's excellent. That's not bad. That's excellent.
So you agree?
It's excellent. It's excellent. Yes.
Right. But I think that people see that, people I think so many people loved Drake London and he was good at the beginning. See, this is the problem. If Drake London's 3 good games had been weeks 4, 5, and 6, I think it would be easier to buy him low. But I've talked about this on here. There's a primacy effect and there's a recency effect. The recency effect is the strongest. What happened most recently is what sticks in people's minds the most. So it's always going to be what happened during fantasy playoffs is going to stick in people's minds the most. But the second most is what happened first. What happened first? It's a very common psychological concept that's, is important to Dynasty. It's talked about every offseason. What happened first is the next most important. So someone who did well at the beginning is going to hold their value more than someone who had a bunch of good games in the middle. Those players tend to be the ones that are the real buy lows, the ones that are easier, the ones who had their good games in the middle of the season, because people forget that. The way that we think about stuff mentally as humans, those are the ones that get swept under the rug the most. And those are the ones that I often look to acquire. So unfortunately, Drake London, I feel like I just haven't seen him that low. People still value him really highly.
I just did a trade a week ago, and this is just in my league. This doesn't mean anything. It was like a week and a half ago now, but I traded Kyler Murray and Joe Mixon for Patrick Mahomes, Drake London, and Cam Akers. Obvious. I think I won pretty easily.
Well, I won Patrick Mahomes no matter what.
Yeah. But that guy drafted Drake London with the 101.
Well,
and he sent me the trade.
That was stupid.
He gave up on him. Oh.
And he sent me the trade.
That's why I brought up Drake London's name in the first place, guys. Because people have given up on him because the season has been so bad. The Atlanta offense has been ridiculous. They've been passing like 12. It seems like they've been passing like 8 times a game. That's what it's felt like. And as a result, Drake London has scored very little fantasy points.
People
He's
are
had very few
spoiled.
good games. Yeah, people are spoiled. That's why I'm saying go buy Drake London. I'm not saying it's right to hate on Drake London. I'm saying people are, and it's a good opportunity.
He's not as low. He's not as low as
100. Like, there are very few times where he's going to be cheaper than what he was last year when he was like the 103 in your league, in your rookie draft.
Sure. I mean, I don't know.
He's going to be cheaper than what he was at the rookie draft.
I doubt it. There was a stench. There was a stench about this. No, there was a stench about this rookie draft. Nobody was paying up for these players.
But the thing is, it's only
nobody was paying up for them at all.
I love you guys today.
No one was paying up for these rookies at all. Like, you couldn't. There was a movement that you wouldn't even. I mean, that's Addison said. He said that he would not even trade He would not even trade a 23 first straight up for the 102. That's what he said. So that's what the 102 Drake London for some people was going for. You couldn't even get a
little bit more about the 2023 classes hype.
No, but it's not only about that. It was about that partially, but also it was saying that people were really down on this class. There was a stench about the 2022 class. People didn't like it. And I actually think that, as a whole,
always loved the wide receivers. I'll tell you that much.
You did.
Running backs, and everything else.
You did, but I don't think that was the majority. I think a lot of people were down on this class as a whole, and they avoided it. I mean, I heard a lot of people, a very common thing during this year's rookie process. Oh, I don't have any picks. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I don't have any picks. Oh, too bad.
Ah, shucks.
No big deal. No, shucks. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, if I had the 101, that would be nice. I mean, Breece Hall is great. Oh, no picks. Okay. I'll check back in after the rookie draft. I mean, I'm not going to try to trade in. I don't want to trade into this putrid draft. I mean, how many times did I hear that? I mean, all the time, like constantly. It didn't matter if it was 102, 103. Nobody wanted these picks. People weren't in on these players. So, I would say, and low, here are the last two trades for Drake London. This one, Drake London for 223 firsts. Here's one. That one is Drake London in a second for Chris Olave. That's not low either. I'd rather have Chris Olave. And then this one here, Deontay Johnson in a 24 first for Drake London in a 24 second. Okay, that's low-ish, but that's not a bargain. So that's the last three on the DLF Trade Finder. So, okay, here's a good one. Here's a good low one. Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins in a 23 second for Drake London in a 23 first and Isaiah Spiller. That one's a good one. Do that one. But the first three were the recent ones. The first three recent ones were not low. So
you gotta find the right manager.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the ones I read you. How about 223 first? What about that one? That doesn't sound so low. And I'm just saying not everyone feels this way. Some people are trading Drake London high. So it can go both. And I would rather have Chris Olave over London.
Yeah, but you can say that about pretty much any player in Dynasty.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely. I'm just saying that it's important to recognize that some people, still.
Yeah, definitely. But it's still worth shooting your shot.
Well, but then I can say that about any player. I can say about any player then. I mean, that's. I could say you shoot your shot at any player. That doesn't help anyone. That's why I like to have. That's why we discuss it more than just sure, shoot your shot. Like, I always like to give people more than that. Because I would say that about anyone, any player. I mean, you can always try to send a.
What's another good one? We haven't helped this guy out at all.
Right? We have.
We said Drake London and we argued about it.
I've helped him. I feel like I've been very helpful.
Definitely
got. We argued about Drake London for like 10 minutes.
No, but see, it is helpful.
Let me throw
it is helpful though. It is helpful because those kind of conversations help think about and come up with your own moves. Like, I'm not going to do it for you on the show.
Don't get me wrong. But they're asking for some buy low, and we couldn't even agree on the one guy.
Well, but just because we couldn't agree doesn't mean we didn't help.
We did mention Kyle Pitts and Breece Hall potentially.
Kyle Pitts. I mean, right at the start, I feel like we all agreed Kyle Pitts was the top
Wandale
of the list.
Robinson. I'll give you another one.
Wandale Robinson is really someone I'm interested in, though. Like, Wandale Robinson is injured.
You could get him cheap.
I don't.
Where are we at?
Elijah Moore.
I was about to say, do I dare say
I love Elijah Moore's talent. Elijah Moore is a talented player. There's nothing that
I'm
will
worried
change
about those two. Those are not.
Jahan
Dotson would be.
We're
going to
be worried about every single buy low person we say, and that's why they're buy low.
Jahan Dotson is someone that I feel like I'm still very in on, and a lot of people are just not really interested.
That's why I brought up his name.
After
that's
this
why I
week,
said his name because I'm in on buying Jahan Dotson. I think he's an interesting buy.
Trey Lance scares me. I'm probably out on
Trey Lance. Is scary.
He's a great option, but I felt like he was too much like Drake London, who just had a good week and performed very well at the beginning of the year, so I didn't want to say it.
Well, I feel like it still wasn't as good. Plus, he was hurt, which always counts against people. No one likes anyone who was hurt. Drake London's been there, at least.
Jahan Dotson, good buy low. Yeah, I agree.
Nico Collins or DJ Chark?
Nico Collins.
Just upcoming week? Because Nico Collins has who is he? He has a tough matchup. I forget.
It's Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah, I would play Nico Collins, but it is close. I mean, I have DJ Chark pretty high.
But those air yards, though. What do you have, like 100?
And the Vikings matchup. The Vikings matchup. That should be a high-scoring, competitive game. There should be a lot of offense going around.
I know.
I think if it's like last week and Brandon Cooks doesn't play at all, I would prefer
Nico Collins has been getting decent volume.
Nico Collins is averaging 8.5 targets the last 4
but they're
weeks.
Kyle Allen targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Kyle Allen targets and against the Cowboys.
You got to cut them in half if they're Kyle Allen.
I was about to say.
No, you got to cut them in
Having said that,
yeah,
I think I might rather start DJ Chark this upcoming week.
I'd still rather start DJ Chark. I would play Chark. The volume might be there for Nico. You might say, oh, the volume is going to be there more. But number one, they're Kyle Allen targets.
Diggs covers Nico.
Horrible.
No,
and
it's hard to start DJ Chark because you just don't know. Is this the week that Jameson Williams becomes the starter?
I know.
DJ Chark
That would be the big thing for me.
That's the fear.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't bet on it. He played like 11%.
But you have no idea. You don't know. You don't know. I don't know. We're not gonna know. It's gonna happen. But that's the reality, right? It's going to happen. We're not going to be able to know. We're not going to know in advance. There's just going to be 1 week. It's going to happen. Could be this week where Jameson Williams just comes in and is suddenly the wide receiver 2, and then DJ Chark is goodbye.
Yeah, you don't. But with Nico Collins, you don't know if he's going to score 7 points or 9 points.
Yeah, but he's going to get the. He's going to get the target.
But DJ Chark could have 0.
Yeah,
could have 0 points.
With a flex, I'd rather
has a safer floor. I'm
Nico Collins had more than 9 points this week.
Yeah, he saved himself the garbage time touchdown, though. He got bailed.
Well, I mean, if he's playing Dallas, he's going to be playing from behind again, like every week.
Diggs is covering him all game.
Yeah, but he did get toasted by Ashley.
Nico Collins. I will say, Nico Collins, he's had 7 or more targets each of the last 4 weeks. I mean, we're talking about someone who's volume.
The obvious answer. He seems like the obvious answer.
It is the
when
obvious.
I initially was.
If you're looking for 10 points, it's Nico Collins.
Yeah, if you're looking for a floor, it's Nico Collins. But in redraft leagues, I'm looking at my flex spot, but more than upside.
Points, right? I mean, the 2 weeks he scored, he's had a lot more than 10 points. I guess this last week he had 12.5, and the other week he scored, he had 15.9. Which is enough to make the difference between winning and losing.
Nico Collins is probably the right answer, but Diggs, I think DJ Chark has more upside. I really do.
Yeah, but it could be 0. I don't know about it. I don't know if I want 0.
Yeah. I'm really nervous about Nico Collins this upcoming week, though.
I
don't really want to start either.
I want to start. Like, beggars can't be choosers, bro.
Yeah. If we had to choose, I guess I'm going with Nico. I love it. Yeah, I will. I would.
Would you give a mid 23 first and an early 23 second for Josh Jacobs?
As a contender.
Yeah.
10 team, start 9, half point PPR, tight end premium league.
Wow. That is
it's a really close trade. As a contender, Josh Jacobs is going to set you over the top, probably.
Josh Jacobs is going to go to the top. Yeah. He's going to dominate. If you were to do a redraft league right now for this season, for this entire season, Josh Jacobs is top 5 pick, probably, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a difference maker right now. He's been a difference maker all year. And if you're really looking for a championship, you really think you can contend, I think this could be a slight overpay because mid 23 first and early second, those are 2 pretty valuable picks in a 10-teamer. But it's going to get you the championship.
It's a slight overpay. It's a slight overpay that I'm willing to do as a contender to get me the championship.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's fantasy football and Dynasty. If I have the opportunity to go out there and get a championship, I'm willing to overpay a little bit to get it. You want to look, you can, have fun and build your team all you want, but at the end of the day, you want to win championships.
Yeah, but don't you know that you're Don't you know that you're playing for prettiest roster? Don't you get a special prize for prettiest roster?
Yeah, it's called the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, I forgot to go to the super chat.
Go for it, Stick.
Do you start?
Stick, man. Hell no.
No.
We might. Yeah, we're not starting Jameson Williams. We actually just talked about this.
Paul, give me another option that you're deciding between.
Yeah, whatever the other option is, it's better because, like I said, remember what I just said about DJ Chark? We don't know the week that Jameson Williams is going to come in. Apply that to Jameson Williams.
Know when
we don't know the week that Jameson Williams is going to come in, so you're just going to start him every week and hope
that narrative would have changed if he would have caught that deep ball.
It's pretty easy.
Just missed him.
See Jameson Williams, whatever week he actually gets the snap share, you can actually play him the next week as a desperation option. But until you have to wait until the week after.
You have to wait till the snaps happen. He got 11% of snaps last week.
He didn't play at all, so
he can't even play.
Like how bad would the other option have to be?
I didn't rank. So I ranked 60 wide receivers this week, and he was not one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think it was 70.
Exactly.
I don't remember, but he would have walked. He would have had a touchdown. Jameson.
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
Jared Goff. Blame him for that one. Not Jameson.
Well, I can blame Jared Goff for that. Yeah, sure. I love this new time. Well, I'm glad you love it because the show will stay at this time. Yeah, I don't anticipate. Like I said, I don't anticipate changing the time of the show again. Yeah, I was really debating between 7 and 7:30 actually. Decided to go with 7:30. Mostly for the reason that we'd still be live at 9 and do a little bit of crossover. If I still feel like the show is, we'll see about changing it to 7. But I'm more likely to change it to 7 during the off season because during the off season I don't have any reason why it would be better. It would be even better for me if the show were even earlier. But during the season I need the time to do start sit rankings. But we will see about changing it. But yeah. Thoughts on Garrett Wilson in Dynasty? Oh, well, I love
him.
No way. What?
Garrett Wilson is a number 1 Dynasty wide receiver.
Garrett Wilson is your Dynasty wide receiver what?
10 or 11.
That's too low.
Yeah.
It's like
he should be in your top 10.
7.
I'll still have him below Amon-Ra St. Brown and DK Metcalf.
Not for me. I have him above DK Metcalf. It's not even close. I don't think it's close.
Yeah, I'd have him above DK, but Amon-Ra is a different conversation.
I have Amon-Ra higher than Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, Amon-Ra he's so good. He's so good.
I'd still rather have DK Metcalf.
I can't wait to see the discount and redraft next year.
Why would you rather have DK Metcalf?
Jameson Williams is going to break out. And
why would you rather have Garrett Wilson?
Because he's almost. He's basically just as elite and 3 years younger. I don't know what's the argument for DK Metcalf.
Garrett Wilson. What are their numbers this year?
If they're close at all, then they're not close.
What are their numbers this year?
All right, I'm just trying to find them right now.
Let's see. Garrett Wilson has they have 790 yards versus 798. Very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the touchdowns are going to separate them, obviously. I think a little bit.
DK Metcalf has 5 and Garrett Wilson has 4. Not exactly.
Oh, wow, I thought DK had more.
And DK has 6 more targets and 10 more receptions. But the scary thing is, if you're looking at the Garrett Wilson games with anyone but Zach Wilson, he's like the wide receiver 2.
That's come up on my feed so many times.
So the fact that he's almost comparable as a rookie, he's a little bit worse. Like I said, if it's close at all, then of course you're going to take the rookie who's 3 years younger over the veteran who.
Yeah, he's probably going to have a better quarterback here.
One thing I think about DK Metcalf is DK Metcalf's not better. Like, I think we've seen the best of – I don't know if we've seen his best season. You never know. He could get a better quarterback. But I don't think DK Metcalf has another talent gear to unlock, if that makes sense. I think this is it. It is what it is. Whereas if Garrett Wilson is close to pacing him, despite having played 5 games with an embarrassing Zach Wilson at quarterback as a rookie and is 3 years younger, it isn't close. It's not close.
Look, we're using
Garrett
the data
Wilson
we have
in Dynasty
available.
is way more valuable than DK Metcalf, both in terms of trade value and in terms of what you can probably get from your average manager. Like if you go on KTC, who do you think's who's more valuable? I don't use KTC. I never go on there. So
it's got to be Garrett Wilson.
There's got to be Garrett Wilson by a lot, right?
You think so? I don't know. I just think there's. I don't trust theirs anyway. But I don't know. DK has just proven it with different options.
I wouldn't say I trust it as a source of actually ranking, but it is a good source of what the market is saying. It does. That's what it does. That's what KTC is.
And sometimes it's a good source of what other people think of the players.
What other people think of what the market thinks. It's a good source of that's the best source we have to tell that.
Garrett Wilson is
one
11
piece of information.
12.
So so Garrett Wilson is higher. I think the gap should be bigger, but I think also that'll take more time. I think as time passes, the gap will become larger.
Yeah. And if Garrett Wilson ends the season doing exactly what he's doing right now, I guarantee you Garrett Wilson.
But if Garrett Wilson, but I think that's a different conversation. If Garrett Wilson ends the season doing exactly what he's doing now, he's going to be the Dynasty wide receiver 3. Like I heard on a podcast today, I was listening to a podcast today that said that Garrett Wilson should be the Dynasty wide receiver 3 right now. That's what they said. I think that's maybe getting a little carried away. I'd like to see him complete the season in order to put him at Dynasty wide receiver 3. I think that's a little crazy.
Carried away sometimes in a couple.
Well, that's why I don't have him at 3.
Like,
that's why I have him at 7. That's why I have him at 7 and not 3.
Like you see this happening, you got to jump on it.
Yeah, I agree.
When you see the flashes of talent,
there's no jumping on it. Like people are locked down right now.
You're already locked in. Yeah.
I begged people. I begged them to buy him after the first flash. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is the guy. This is the guy you want. This is the elite player who, if he can get anything sorted in quarterback situation, and that's exactly what happened with anyone other than Zach Wilson. He's pacing for 1,600 plus yards.
What did the head coach recently say? Zach Wilson will play again?
Will play. I think will play means won't be the third string quarterback. Will play Zach Wilson's never playing. Never
playing.
Never. I'll take a bet on it.
Game, right?
Zach Wilson will never start another game.
He shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Never.
Special teams.
Never. He will never start another game for the New York Jets.
Special teams.
He shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't. I mean, he shouldn't. I don't think he ever will. I think Zach Wilson has started his last game for the Jets. Not his last game in the NFL. I think he will start another game. I actually think Zach Wilson, as crazy as this is, does start somewhere in 2023, at least to open the season. I don't think he gets a clear starting
Carolina
job.
Panthers 2023 quarterback Zach Wilson.
They have too high of a pick. I think that they're Carolina. No. Carolina. David Tepper is done with Band-Aids. They're not doing any more Band-Aids.
They're done with Band-Aids. They're going to
do what it takes. Whatever it costs, they're going to get a quarterback that they feel is going to be the solution long term.
Yeah, I was just joking.
Not doing any more Band-Aids.
I was just joking.
But I do think that you weren't far off if you had said a different team. You had the right. Like I don't know. It's just not Carolina. But if you look a little lower on the list, specifically at teams located in Washington, who do dumb things on a regular basis.
Wow, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be the top of the list of someone who would do something that stupid to trade for.
Yeah, probably the Commanders might be there.
Commanders would be top of my list.
They might do that.
Absolutely. You never know. There could be injuries between now and then. I mean, you never know. You don't want to wish a catastrophic injury on anyone, but you never know what could happen. An opening could appear. You just don't know. But I do think the teams higher in the draft are less likely. For sure. It's crazy. The Seattle's picking 3rd with Denver's pick, Detroit 4th with the Rams, and Philadelphia 5th with New Orleans.
Yeah. It's great.
It's incompetent general managering on those parts. I think they should be fired. I almost gave
got fired recently.
Well, I came prepared with I have a preparation for his record. I mean, his record was really good. I mean, he traded away AJ Brown. I mean, that one was really good. And then he wasted picks on Darrington Evans. I mean, that was another total waste. And this year, I mean, wasn't so good.
Darrington Evans was a high pick too, right?
3rd round pick. Third? Yeah, no, it wasn't. It really wasn't so good. I mean, they had a lot of bad draft
while
picks.
Derrick Henry's on the team.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was kind of a waste at that time, considering, what they had done. It's just you go through a whole draft class. I mean, their whole 2021 draft class is all just a disaster.
Didn't they cut the one guy after?
What about Kyle Phillips?
That's 2022. And he has
2021. Sorry. I was being sarcastic.
Yeah. It's not ideal.
Nah, he earned
I love Garrett Wilson though. Garrett Wilson is a star.
I do.
Garrett Wilson is a star. He's a superstar.
I'd rather have him over Chris Olave.
Trying to make an argument, but
yeah, no, they're.
Oh yeah, 100% over Chris Olave.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, you would have not have said that, Hutch. I know you wouldn't have.
What?
Just so you know, no one would have said that. I don't think Tyler would have.
Well, no, I actually think that what's causing it is that the Jets were willing to take Zach Wilson out. I think that's it. Is that we see that they're not going to go down.
Garrett Wilson above Chris Olave for me too.
Right, but it's more I'm being a little bit. It has nothing to do with Garrett Wilson.
I'm trying to.
I think the rise in value.
I'm attacking.
It's not that Garrett Wilson became more talented in the last 2 weeks. It's that the Jets were willing to do something that's difficult. Let's review that for a second. You picked a quarterback second overall. It was a big investment. And not even in year 3, in the middle of year 2, in a playoff season, you're willing to take that quarterback out. That's a difficult move to actually execute, to actually do that and replace him with a nobody. I mean, Mike White is a nobody.
It shows you how much he messed up.
No, he made it easy on them because he was so bad. But I'm just saying that a lot other teams would go down with the ship.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It shows you how much he messed up the locker room with his comments about.
It also shows you that the Jets. I would take the Jets off my list of incompetent organizations. I really don't feel like they belong on that list anymore. They've actually been surprisingly competent.
They've actually been really well. They're
averagely competent.
Yeah. I mean, they're
surprisingly competent. You know. Yeah, surprisingly competent.
Can we just say yes and move on to this question?
Yeah, I'll take Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ian asks, what does it take to move up from the 2023 102 to the 101?
I think we got this question like a couple weeks ago. We said your firstborn child.
Yeah. Well, I think that was for the 101, but
I mean, there's been rumblings that Bijan could go back. I don't think he
better
will.
not.
He better not.
Yeah, that would suck.
That would be
2024 would be an otherworldly discussion.
The fact, knowing if this is a Superflex league does matter a lot. By the way, right?
Like, yeah, because I think Robinson is mid, then who we picking at 101? Was it Bryce Young?
But it's a quarterback. If it's a Superflex league, quarterback, right? If it's not,
I think Bryce Young.
We're not really sure. Yeah, sure.
And I would think he's probably going to Houston at 101.
Yeah,
that's my guess. That would be my guess right now.
Or Anthony Richardson if he gets that elusive draft capital.
Could be Richardson as well.
Yeah, I saw an article saying he was going to fall like out of the first round. So
yeah, don't start me. I'll be sad. I can't wait to draft him. That would be disappointing. When he goes in the mid first. Definitely a great time.
Yeah.
What's up? Yeah, welcome.
What's up?
What's up, Craig? What's up?
So I'm a heavy favorite, but I'm lacking on an RB2. My running backs, ETN, AJ Dillon, Fournette, and Foreman. I have the 103, then my first and 2 other firsts of playoff teams, one of which I play next week. Should I trade my first or another first for running back? And if so, who would be a good ad? One offer I have is 103 and AJ Dillon for Josh Jacobs, but I don't think that that's worth it.
103.
Yeah, I would take.
No,
that's too much. I'll take.
I think that is a little extra.
We were talking about Josh Jacobs earlier. It was a mid first and a second round pick for Josh Jacobs. I was okay with that one. The 103 though, and AJ Dillon.
That becomes a little steeper.
I feel like we've talked about these two enough. I don't think we're going to get back. To Garrett Wilson and Drake London. Are you pursuing Brock Purdy? Well, let me simplify it.
Yes.
If you're in a Superflex Dynasty league, I would spend all the rest of my fab to get him. Does he have value after this season? No. I'm going to say more than likely no, but you never know.
We've seen crazier things.
You never know because I will say in the NFL, most of the time doesn't work this way. But when a quarterback gets a chance to start, you just never know how that's going to go. And maybe Brock Purdy is the second coming of, like
Russell
Dak
Wilson.
Prescott. Tom Brady.
Type. Tom Brady, I feel
Russell
like we don't even say
and Bailey Zappi, legendary Bailey.
We don't even say Tom Brady.
Kirk Cousins might be a good name,
like could be an example there.
But I feel like also like Kirk Cousins was less of a nobody.
It was weird as crap that the Washington team
weird.
at the time drafted RG3 and then Kirk Cousins in like the 3rd or 4th round, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with quarterbacks, you do have a good number of examples of quarterbacks in the 4th round getting some playing time, namely Kirk Cousins and Dak. Quarterbacks from
Russell
the
Wilson.
6th. Russell Wilson was the 3rd rounder.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. But you almost never see quarterbacks like from the 7th or undrafted.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Never.
You really
like,
don't. Tom Brady was 5th, right?
If you look at the list of like valuable quarterbacks right now in Dynasty, you have to
They
go.
were high picks.
Yeah, I
Dak
mean,
Prescott's the first one.
The only one who was not a 1st round pick in my Dynasty top 10 is Jalen Hurts, and he was a 2nd rounder. Then you get to Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins. They're in there as 4th rounders, but then you keep going. I mean, you have, there's a bunch of 1st rounders. Russell Wilson is in there as a 3rd rounder, but other than that, it's
draft capital matters, people.
Yeah, it's a hose, guys.
9 more 1st rounders.
Yeah, I'm going down.
And then Jimmy Garoppolo's in there. Geno Smith even is a 2nd rounder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the odds of a quarterback hitting the first right now in my Dynasty rankings. The only quarterbacks I have ranked at all that were not picked in the top 4 rounds are Tom Brady, Taylor Heineke, Gardner Minshew, Tyler Huntley, Mike White, Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, and then I believe that might be
Desmond Ridder. Is he in there?
No, he was 3rd round.
Oh, and not the top 3.
Not the top 4. Not the top 4 rounds. Cooper Rush, who I do still have ranked.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, no, you're really. And then PJ Walker is the last quarterback I even have ranked. So those are the ones who are ranked at all. And if you notice, none of them other than Tom Brady are really all that valuable. So yeah, Brock Purdy, spend the rest of your fab. The odds of him having value after the season are close to 0.
And if he does do okay, maybe trade him in the offseason for whatever.
I think the only ones here who have value at all are Purdy and Baker. Who would you rather have? I'd rather have Purdy over Baker. I don't want failure. Infestation of failure. I just don't want that. I mean,
Purdy, Baker, Allen, Wolford.
The other 2 aren't worth adding to me. I don't want them.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit more just like unknown upside with Wolford than Kyle Allen. No, I don't even. Don't get me wrong.
I don't even
doesn't
care.
Matter, right?
I'm not adding them. To me, they're not.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm not adding
That's fine.
them. So
I mean, at least like hold on.
Superflex
Here's the
league.
thing. I think it's very clear that Wolford is last because I think it's very clear that Wolford's last because the other 3 are starting this year.
Let's waste
Wolford's
time
the starter 100%.
Let's waste time on players who actually matter. These
really
other than
over
Brock
Baker.
Purdy, these players
start
don't
over
matter.
Baker.
These players don't matter. These players all suck.
Baker.
Because Baker's in LA now. He's going to start over Wolford.
Baker and his 6.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah, Purdy, Baker, whatever.
No, he's going to start.
Is so good.
Right.
It's
not
so much
good,
better.
Tyler. It's not
really
good at all. But he's going
John
to
Wolford
start
is
in
just
4
even worse.
points.
These
I
players
think it's
are all
more
right.
telling that San Fran didn't put a waiver claim for Baker. So
who do I think is better?
They did not.
No, the Rams were the only team that put a waiver claim. No other team put a waiver claim.
Wow.
Yeah. Shows you how unwanted Baker Mayfield is. Because he sucks.
It's crazy that the 49ers
people always like to dance around the issue, but there's to me, there's nothing to dance around. He sucks. He's terrible. And I wouldn't want him as my backup quarterback, let alone as a starter.
I don't want Tyler to answer this one.
Who's better, Mixon or Pirine?
Mixon's better. I'm just going to say. Yes, I truly believe that Mixon is better. I don't think he's a game changer, and I don't think Samaje Perine's a game changer.
Well, okay, let me put it to you this way.
Perine's last few games, he's looked better than Mixon has almost all year.
That's true.
Listen, man, I would have told every single one in their mother to start Pirine the last few games.
Let's put it this way.
Like, there's probably one
let's actually say
Pirine.
Let's actually say something.
Start Mixon.
Let's say something helpful for the people instead of that, which is not helpful. It doesn't matter who we think is better.
Instead of what?
Well, no, it doesn't matter who we think is better. Actually, answering this question is not helpful. But the helpful answer is this. The Bengals are one of the backfields that have 2 players they trust and no one else. They don't ever want to use anyone else. So it is one of those situations where Samaje Perine, the backup, is better when the starter goes down than the starter is when they're both healthy. Because if Mixon goes down, Perine gets everything.
Yes,
Mixon and Pirine are both in, then it's split like 70-30. That's the situation. There are other teams like that. The Packers are one of them, of course.
Yeah, the Packers.
AJ Dillon, if Aaron Jones went down, would be better than Aaron Jones is now because he'd get everything.
Yeah, he'd get everything. Yeah, they only trust 2 backs. That's
they only
really,
trust
really good
2
point,
players.
Tyler.
Yeah, there are quite a few teams like this. I think Minnesota is kind of in that area potentially.
I mean, you can kind of put I was thinking maybe the Steelers because Mike Tomlin always just used 1 back.
Dallas, depending on who you count as the backup.
Dallas,
is definitely in this area.
Dallas is definitely there.
For sure.
Yeah, if either one of the players in Dallas was hurt, that one person would gain value.
Yeah.
That's left alone.
It's almost like Pollard's almost better when he's not there. Zeke has been so poor this year.
Yeah, but there are certain
better
teams
when
Zeke has been fine this year. Zeke's been good this year. Zeke's been okay.
Pollard's
been so much better.
The Bucks are another one. Whoever you count as the starter, the backup is better alone than the starter is with the backup healthy because they only trust Fournette and White and do not want to use anyone else. So that's another one on that list. But I think the Bengals are like the most apparent example that they don't want to give no one other than Mixon or Pirine. They do not want to give anyone else any touch. They gave
100%.
They gave Samaje Pirine 21 carries. Samaje Pirine 21 carries. They don't want. We answered this with your.
He did look really. He looks amazing though. He's looked amazing.
Have PPR Akers or Pirine
this week?
Yeah. So let's say Joe Mixon is back. So
Joe Mixon's back. Okay, that makes it more interesting.
So if Joe Mixon is back, then I'm going to play Akers.
It's Akers.
Yeah. Who do the Rams play? The Raiders.
They have a good matchup.
Who do they play? They play the Raiders, right?
The Raiders.
I can run on Vegas.
Yeah. That's a great matchup. You can run all of them.
Ranked so differently for me. I have Akers at 28 and Pirine at 32, so it's not like
no, it's not. It's not.
That's what Joe Mixon 100% playing.
Yeah. Joe Mixon is. They've already cleared him essentially.
If Joe Mixon, just making sure
they've already cleared him.
They say he's going to practice tomorrow in full. So I'm
Mixon's back. Pirine's taking the back seat. Go Akers.
So Samaje Pirine had a 14-point game in week 3. Outside of that, a 9-point.
That's why I have him
at
32.
5.
I'd rather start Samaje Pirine over Gus Edwards, for example, or anyone in Seattle with Kenneth Walker out. I'm not trying to pick the right one. I'm not playing that game.
If they came out and said this guy's going to get
no. Pete Carroll doesn't tell the truth.
He lies.
He has an allergy.
He's a liar.
He has an allergy to telling the truth. So I don't care what he says. I'm not picking.
If he came out and say that though, I probably would still start that guy.
You can do that. But I'm not.
Samaje Pirine's a backup running back when Joe Mixon's back, though.
I still think I'd rather take 30% of carries from Samaje Pirine than. I said DJ Dallas was a starter. He did take the first carry, but then he didn't play the rest of the game. I mean that is in the range of Pete Carroll outcome.
Just has no upside.
I just can't. I can't have that. Even though it's against Carolina, I just can't. I can't get into that nightmare. Because we don't know. At times, DJ Dallas has been the backup. Then it was Travis Homer. At times, he's injured. Who knows?
And then
Tony Jones. Wayne Gallman was signed. We don't know. Okay. Let's see here. Pitts, Godwin, and 23 first, or Chase and Hawk? I think it's Pitts, Godwin, and 23 first.
Yeah, I would.
In the full tight end premium, Pitts is not worth Chase. But he's not. He's closer than you would think. Full tight end premium is a lot.
Like 1 point?
What is this? Half versus 1.5, or half versus 1?
I think it would be half versus 1.5.
Well, that's ridiculous then.
Full tight end PPR, like full PPR, full.
So then it's probably half versus 1, which is still double.
Yes, which is still double, which is insane.
Yeah. I mean that makes Hawk worth a lot more too. I mean
Hawkinson
Hawk and Godwin
so good though.
Yeah, I mean,
like Hawkinson is
my regular tight end premium. Great. Hawk is worth a significant less than Godwin, but in this format, Hawk and Godwin are similar. But I'd still rather have Pitts in the 23 first over Chase. So
the 23 first really pushes it over.
Chase then Pitts in a 2023 first mid.
I think you say that now, and I think when we get to the draft and that 106 has a name, I think you're gonna prefer that.
Maybe, personally. But I don't think so right now. Still, you're not changing my mind in the moment.
I know.
I'd rather have Godwin than Hawk. I know what you're saying. It does probably make them pretty close.
Oh, that's
okay. Close to
Yeah, no, we're going fast. We're going faster now.
Question.
All right.
Rest of team. Yeah. Okay. What do you think about Dak and Mac at quarterback? Is it possible to compete with those two, or should I upgrade? I mean, it's possible, but it's not. Quarterback is a weakness for you, not a strength. But Superflex
always look to be improving your quarterbacks.
That's true.
Yeah.
In general, I would say, in terms of questions on the show, the more specific you are, the better. Should I upgrade? I'm probably just going to say yes and then move on. Give me some ideas of what because I just have no idea what combination of assets are on other teams in your league. So the more specific you are, the better we can help you. On a live show, it's just difficult if the question's vague. What's up? What's up? I don't think I've ever seen you in the live chat.
Yeah. So,
welcome.
Yeah,
I do think this is going to happen with the newer time, because this was at 7:49, right after we started. I do think remember, we're behind on the questions. I do think with the newer time, we're going to get this. We're going to have people in the chat who we haven't had before, which is nice. We'll have some people who haven't had a chance to watch the show who might get a chance now. We answered this with everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Is Pacheco the guy in Kansas City? Are we selling high? I think I'll go through this one pretty quick.
It's tough
because honestly, it's not that interesting to me. He's the guy this year. He's not the guy next year because he's bad.
I agree.
He sees a hole here, and then he thinks he should run over there.
I think Ryan probably wants to mention something about McKinnon being the
receiver. He got some work, man.
Yeah,
but Pacheco's vision is embarrassing.
Pacheco, he's been okay. He's
not
been
in the
solid.
Passing game. Not involved in the passing game. He's not it. So yeah, he's the guy among guys we have right now, and I'm selling high. He's just not it.
The fact that McKinnon's close to him, like he's probably a sell.
Yeah,
he's absolutely a sell high.
They need a real running back who they don't have.
Yeah.
What do you need to go from Lawrence to Lamar? Well, we're way past the point where we have a first.
Not much. Not really. Not much.
Both of you guys were saying the same tier.
They're in the same tier. They're absolutely in the same tier.
And
I don't know if I'd be willing. Like if I have Lawrence, I'm going for Lamar. I don't know if I'd be willing to give a 2023 first and Lawrence.
No, yeah, I definitely would draft.
I don't know
ahead of Lawrence in a draft myself, but the separation is not crazy. You're right.
I don't think it's not a first. I think it's less than a first, because if I had Lamar and someone offered me Lawrence at a first for Lamar, I would take that deal.
And I wouldn't blame you.
I would take it.
I wouldn't blame you at all. But I don't think a second's enough for me personally.
It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna just say that.
I'd probably say a second, but
I don't think I could do that personally. I don't think I could accept Trevor Lawrence at a second for Lamar. So
I don't. Yeah, the problem is if I got offered that,
I think if it were very early, if it were Trevor Lawrence in the 201, I might have to go that way because they're in the same tier for me. And if they're in the same tier,
Lawrence
if they're really a 201,
enough to set them over the
if they're in the same tier, then I would think I would have to take the player with 201.
Well, that's why I said they weren't quite in the. I haven't gotten there quite yet. But I know what you're saying.
I'm kind of on the fence of how in the same tier, like. I haven't really, because to me, in terms of dynasty quarterback, it's very simple. Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, and Hurts are my top group. Although it's kind of, those guys are way above. Herbert to me is still elite, although he's interesting. Joe Burrow is like getting very close to that tier, and then he's kind of closer to that. It almost
feels like Joe Burrow in a tier by himself right now.
A little, but I'd say he's closer to the top than the next tier of everyone. Because I'd say Joe Burrow really has nothing. I don't have any concerns, really.
And
like
he's
no
just
concerns.
so set up. He's
set up
no concerns with Joe Burrow. And he's good enough that he's not totally dependent on his weapons. He can still execute.
No, we saw him without Jamar Chase, and he played fine.
He wasn't elite, but he was still good.
He was elite, good.
He's a starter.
Yeah. Well, most players, when they lose one of the best receivers in the league, are not going to continue to be elite. So it's like, I understand that. Like Justin Herbert was not elite.
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, that's why he's still ranked number 2 for me in Dynasty.
Apparently,
that's why he's higher.
I saw an amazing tweet today. Apparently, Patrick Mahomes is like on pace to like have a set an NFL record in yards, and so is Tyreek Hill. This year.
I mean, I would say Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are
hilarious
above the rest.
It's so crazy.
That is insane.
You know what? The same how Joe Burrow is in a tier of his own. I think maybe Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes deserve to be.
No, I think that's really more accurate. I mean, if you look at my rankings in Superflex, they all end up bunched together, but in one QB, you see the spread.
Yeah.
And I have Josh Allen and Mahomes higher than Herbert and Hurts, and then Burrow's kind of like a mid.
I think Josh Allen and Mahomes are kind of
and then Kyler. Right now I have Burrow at 5, Lamar at 6, Kyler at 7, Deshaun Watson at 8, Tua at 9, Fields at 10, Lawrence at 11, and Dak at 12. And then it's like
exactly what I have.
That's like it's like an ocean down to Kirk Cousins at 13, like an ocean. Like
that's awesome.
Like whatever you want to call it, I would say. Let's say for me, really, if I had to define it, I would say Allen and Mahomes tier 1, Herbert, Hurts, Burrow tier 2, and then Lamar, Kyler, Watson, Tua, Fields, Lawrence, Dak is tier 3. I would call Kirk Cousins like tier 6. Like that, like
just kind of skip some tiers. But
that's really the reality of what it is.
Yeah.
That's
the reality. True, So but back to the question.
And then tier 6 is rather large. Like Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, Russell Wilson are all in that tier still. Kenny Pickett, Derek Carr are in there for me also.
Oh, I'll put Trey Lance ahead of Kirk Cousins. But
I am concerned. I do think, and there's no way to know. But I think if Jimmy Garoppolo had finished the season and had won and had been good in the playoffs, that he'd be their starter and they would have gotten rid of Trey Lance. That's where I was. I was starting to lower Trey Lance. This was it. The report came out. It's funny how the timing is, isn't it? The report came out this day. They didn't know he was going to get hurt. That they were interested in retaining Jimmy Garoppolo, and I believe it. They
were interested in retaining Jimmy Garoppolo and going into this season, and they did.
Correct.
No. They retained him as the backup. I think it was different this time. No, you're wrong.
They needed him.
No,
I'm not wrong.
No,
what?
It's no.
How can you say I'm wrong?
Because last time they had all the leverage. He was under contract.
What
they did.
leverage did Jimmy have? He's done the
0.
same thing he's done his whole career this year.
No. Last year, the 49ers had all the leverage. All of it. Jimmy Garoppolo had a dead cap hit of $1 million and was owed a $26 million contract. They could cut him at any time. And they had all the leverage over him. This year, everything's reversed. The only way Jimmy Garoppolo would come back is if they were going to make him the starter, because he could go to any team now. He's a free agent now.
He could have gone to any team last year and no one wanted him.
Because they would have had to pay him $26 million.
He didn't have a contract going into last year.
Come on.
What do you mean?
They wanted him. If they were going to get him back this year, he would only agree to come back if he was going to be the starter. Now it's different that he was hurt, but when he was
healthy,
happened
last year, he didn't do anything
it's
impressive this year.
It's different when you're a free agent. When you're a free agent, you have all the leverage. You can go anywhere. He was not a free agent. They had all the leverage over him. He was stuck under a non-guaranteed. This is something that we talk about in the NFL all the time. The last years of deals give the team all the leverage. They can just sit on you. They could sit on him until September 3rd and then cut him if they had wanted to. They didn't do that, but they had the leverage.
They signed him.
Right, because that's why he agreed to it. Because the alternative was he was going to be cut on September 3rd, and then he was going to have to find a new team then. Whereas in this case, he was guaranteed more money. They gave him $7 million with incentives if Trey Lance failed, that he would become the starter. But we knew that he was the backup. He was signing to be the backup because they had the leverage over him, that they could make him wait. And that's what they did. That's why it was acrimonious. Come on.
Now, don't use words like acrimonious all the time on me, all right?
You know it's a different scenario when someone's under a non-guaranteed contract versus a free agent. Those are very different.
It's a different scenario, but it's the same Jimmy Garoppolo, man.
No, the difference is that this time Jimmy Garoppolo would only have come back if they said he would be the starter. That's the reality. Now it's different. Now he's hurt. That's a different scenario. But if he was healthy and then finished out the season and taken them to the playoffs, he was never going to come back as Trey Lance's backup again.
I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is their answer, and I don't think they think he's their answer.
They were going to re-sign him. They regret picking Trey Lance already. I mean,
they
regret it.
If they regret picking Trey Lance, that's one thing, but Jimmy Garoppolo is not their answer. Clearly. That's the whole thing.
Brady.
They were looking pretty good with Jimmy Garoppolo.
They've been looking pretty good when Jimmy Garoppolo is healthy every year.
And that's.
But it's not because of Jimmy Garoppolo, man. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. You know he's an average quarterback at best.
I mean,
right?
Yes, an average starting quarterback. Average starting quarterback usually is employed. There's a reason why I think teams were going to be lining up for him. No one was lining up for Baker Mayfield or Carson Wentz now because they suck.
They were last year,
and they shouldn't have been. And I told them not to, and they didn't listen to me. I said it last year that Jimmy Garoppolo was way better.
Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be good within our team.
Oh, I don't agree. I think
he wouldn't even be Derek Carr. He'd be much less than Derek. He is less than Derek Carr. He's still less than Derek Carr.
I'm kind
even in a good situation.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not that different from Derek Carr.
In one of the best situations that you can in the NFL. I mean, there's not much of a better situation than Jimmy Garoppolo has. I'm not saying he would fail on another team, but he would not be as good on another team as he is on the San Francisco 49ers.
He's even good now.
Then why does San Francisco always lose with anyone else, but they win with him in?
I think
you have to execute. You execute in the system that you have. He's been consistently good over the last 4 years. People don't want to
accept
accept
when it comes to the big moment.
They don't like him. People don't like him because for whatever reason, but they don't want to accept it. He's been good for the last 4 years. I mean, it is what it is. You know, he's average or very good. I mean, he's always been good in yards per attempt. He's good at taking care of the ball. He's good at completing passes accurately. He's good. It's just people don't like it. They don't like him because he's boring. He's not flashy.
49ers don't like it.
That's all it is.
I mean, he did cost him that Super Bowl, so like.
I mean, you want to write off everyone who's cost someone a Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you know, my patrons are sharp.
I think we'd be okay if we did.
They told me that I was too low on Jimmy Garoppolo, and you know, whatever. Maybe this is, you know, they kept telling you that.
I understand every point you're making. It's just like when it comes down to it, it's just. I don't think
the point is that the numbers say that he's been good. I mean, if you want to, you know, he's been. It's not just winning games. It's not just winning games. If you were just winning games and you were bad, I can see through it. But he's not.
It's not.
He's accurate. He's accurate. Has a lot of yards per attempt and is pretty good at taking care of the ball.
Okay. Are those yards per attempt like air yards per attempt or like yards after catch per attempt?
You do what you're asked to do, bro. Like you do what you're asked to do.
But can anyone throw screens? Like
clearly not. Clearly not.
It's not, but like
other quarterbacks don't do it in this offense, though. Well,
I guess Jimmy G just perfected the screen pass. There's nothing I can do about it.
Speaking of things that make me very concerned, if you want to talk about something actionable for Dynasty,
yes, please.
Which I've been begging people to do for
please.
No.
Please.
Well, nobody's even, you know, it is what it is. Nobody cares. But about my Jimmy Garoppolo rant. But I'm a Jimmy G apologist. We all know this. We all know this. Do people know that? I don't know. Do people know that? I'm a huge Jimmy G apologist. But
there's lots of quarterbacks better than him. I'm sorry. Just keep going. Keep going.
Well, you know, that's fine. You know, it is what it is.
Hold on. Let me
Ravens don't have any wide receivers, so.
No, they don't. I agree completely.
If this is what the 49ers receiving weapons look like with Jimmy Garoppolo, who's better passer than Trey Lance. Better. Significantly.
Sure.
Close. What is it going to look like next year for Dynasty supporting all of these weapons with an injured, inaccurate, hasn't played football for 3 years, Trey Lance? What is that going to look like? How bad is that going to be?
Because, I mean, it hasn't been awesome this year. Deebo Samuel's been
so it's going to be even worse.
He's had Deebo Samuel's had 3 top 24 finishes this year.
Oh, I agree with you. It hasn't been good.
George Kittle hasn't been good. I mean, it's going to be worse.
One weapon too many.
It's going to be worse, but it's already been so bad. I don't want.
It hasn't been that bad.
It's
only been bad because of Christian McCaffrey. Once Christian McCaffrey came in,
Christian McCaffrey been fine.
Consolidated. Well, no, he
ruined everyone.
He ruined everyone.
He did ruin everyone else. He did ruin everyone.
McCaffrey's elite. Right? I mean, I think that's what we learned is that Christian McCaffrey's elite and Deebo Samuel is not. George Kittle's an elite player, but not an elite fantasy asset. Those are obviously not.
Yeah. George Kittle's an elite talent, and Deebo Samuel, I think you can make an argument is an elite talent.
If he were elite, he would still be producing. but he's not.
If you could keep him healthy.
But why did you say this? Why did you say the opposite thing about George Kittle though?
Because George Kittle is elite, is an elite talent because he's the best blocking, one of the best blocking.
Offensive genius head coach makes him block.
Like George Kittle is an elite tight end, but elite tight end and elite fantasy asset are not always the same. But he is elite.
I think you could say the same about Deebo Samuel, though. Maybe not an elite fantasy option, though, because an elite
George
player on the field when he's
so
healthy.
Good. That's actually why George Kittle is bad for fantasy, because he's such a good blocker. They need him, and you can't just make that up with another player. That's why it's so bad. He spends so much time blocking. It sucks.
Yeah, it's been one of the bigger reasons why Kyle Pitts was so frustrating this year, because they had him blocking
Kyle Pitts is an abysmal blocker. I mean, not abysmal.
He's good.
This year,
all right.
Kyle Pitts is not even a tight end. Kyle Pitts is not a tight end. Kyle Pitts is a wide receiver.
I don't know why he shouldn't want to
Kyle
be.
Pitts is a wide receiver. If you're using Kyle Pitts as a blocker, you're doing it wrong. Whereas I would say,
you're doing it.
Honest with you,
you drafted him for his.
Given the setup of the 49ers offense, I'm not sure it's frustrating for us, but I'm not sure that using George Kittle as a blocker is doing it wrong. He's elite in that area. I'm not sure that he's a better receiver than Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. So I'm not sure using George Kittle as a blocker is a mistake. It just sucks for us. Whereas using Kyle Pitts as a blocker, where he's whereas a receiver where he's as elite athleticism makes no sense when you have no other wide receivers. That is stupid. But I'm not sure George Kittle's usage is just frustrating. It's just frustrating for us because we know he can be an elite receiver. That year where he had no other receiving weapons on the team, he was elite. He was so good. And we always hold on to that image of George Kittle, and it comes back when the other guys are out. It's frustrating because you know it's there and it's not going to happen. It's just something I always feel like with George Kittle. It just frustrates me. And because I love him. One of my favorite players. He really is. Another player I have a soft spot for sure. Love him. I hate that.
Yeah, I just don't. Outside of Travis Kelce, is there a better tight end in the NFL than him?
No. George Kittle is
not.
Is one of the best. I would say second best after Kelce has been just elite difference maker, crushing it this year. But if I were picking a tight end for my real life team, Kittle would be my second choice. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I'd rather have Kittle for my real life team than I would Mark Andrews. I think Kittle makes more of a difference.
I would agree.
I'm right there on that one. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, waivers are Dynasty waivers can be frustrating too, though. They take up a lot of time on play, and the worst thing about Dynasty waivers is you take up a lot of time on players who don't matter. That's the worst part. I have a flex question. I've got Geno and Tua in my super flex. Are you starting both? Yeah. I'm starting Geno and Tua. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this one. Mike White versus Buffalo or Watson versus Cincy?
Oh, bro. Oh, my God.
I'll play Watson for me.
I think we see like we saw a bit of a decline from Mike White last week. This week is going to be a collapse where we see like him fall.
What decline? I didn't see a decline last week. I saw that he lost, but just losing is not a decline. I thought he was ready to. He showed he could hang with a good team, and he played well. I mean, all things well is relative.
We're gonna get 3/4 of.
I think if you say which one is his better game, you would say his first game.
Well, sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A bit of a decline.
This was it depends. You have to take into context kind of, the game situation. The defense one game was against the Bears where, they were starting a Trevor Siemian and you were up the whole game. Whereas in this one, you were playing from behind. So he had to execute a different game plan. It's easy when the other team doesn't score. Yeah, so I would say he showed the ability to, put up a lot of yards in a bigger game.
I
wouldn't say it was a decline.
His completion percentage went down by his completion percentage went down by over 23%.
Sure. He was playing the Vikings instead of the Bears. The Bears are Swiss cheese.
The Vikings defense aren't that great.
Oh, wait, yeah, but the Vikings are not great, but the Bears are Swiss cheese. They're
a bit better.
The Bears are so bad. They're up there with the worst defenses. What's the panic level with Pittman?
13 receptions compared to 0 against Chicago.
What's the panic level with Pittman?
Panic level with Pittman. they're going to get a quarterback soon, and I think they're going to go for like. I think they are. I think they're tired of just replacements because they've been doing this crap with replacements for like the past few years. I really do believe that they're going to go after a quarterback this year, and they're going to really going to go after somebody. I feel like may not 100% succeed, but they're going to go for it. And I think that if that happens, Pittman will be good.
I think Caleb Williams in 2024 is the answer for the Indianapolis Colts at 101 after a horrendous 2023 season where they start someone, Waiver, to just fill in, whether it's Sam Ehlinger, heck, maybe even Nick Foles somehow.
Ew, no.
They're gonna tank a year. They're gonna throw it.
Sam Ehlinger would make a lot more sense. I just don't like if they go to Nick Foles. It's like they're doing what they've done the last like 3 years, trying to just fill it in with someone. Sam Ehlinger at least I do think it's going to be someone that's at least young and has some upside. And maybe it's someone good.
Next
season, I don't
his
think
talent is there.
Going to be a top 15 wide receiver, but he's going to be good, really good. He's a really good wide receiver that's young. So it's like how you value a guy like that. 20, what is he going to be, 25 next season? He's 24 now, I think. Very talented. We know that. Probably in a lackluster situation. Getting decent targets, though. I think he could probably have another season like he's having this year, which sucks in a lot of people's minds. That's what I'll say. But I love his talent, so it's a tough situation.
Number from 1 to 10.
Panic level 1 to 10.
Yeah.
For just a straight up dynasty perspective, I'll say a 4 because he's young. I think he's very talented, but I'm still a little bit nervous about next season being a top tier producer.
I'll go like a 5 or a 6. Yeah, because the talent is there. Just is the situation going to clear up? Because obviously, I want to say that I think the Colts will go after a quarterback. I think they'll either trade up in the draft, find somebody, go after somebody. I really do believe they will. But
and if they do, that
could just not happen
for Michael Pittman. Excellent, in my opinion. That's excellent for Michael Pittman if they do actually go for a quarterback.
Yeah, that's great. If they go after a good quarterback and get one of the top guys in the 23 class or trade for somebody, that's great. That's awesome. That's great for Michael Pittman. But if they start Sam Ehlinger next year, that's a disaster. No. Offense. That offense is going to be like an atrocious disaster. And it's going to be what we've seen this year from Pittman, which is the volume's kind of there, but it's not going to be good volume at all. And it's going to suck. Like Pittman's been really frustrating this year to have. I mean, since week 1.
Oh, and as someone who's had him, I'm aware of this.
Yeah, I mean, his week 1 performance was great, but then since his week 1, it sucked. Like it straight up just sucked to have Michael Pittman on your team. Like it's been disaster every single week almost. So if we're at Sam Ehlinger next year or Nick Foles, whatever, that's going to be a disaster. But if we actually get a real quarterback, then we can talk. So right now I'm at like a 5 or a 6, a panic level.
Would you send Kupp for Debo? Absolutely not. And I'm not acquiring.
Absolutely not. Super chat down here.
No way.
I missed it.
Oh. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
We got Franks. Is that what you're talking about?
No, this one.
Oh, okay.
Bellinger, Okonkwo, or Auden, pick 2 to roster rest of season. Any theories at building a tight end dynasty? Okay, well, Bellinger, I mean, honestly, all of these are players that this week I have actually Okonkwo ranked the highest of these 3 this week at 15, and Bellinger at 17.
Are you including that what if Breit's out? Does that move on up for you or no?
It matters
because the time where look at the games where Breit's out, Auden shows up.
Yeah. I know. I have Auden ranked at 18, but it's at San Francisco.
Yeah, it's
and I do think that with both Gage and Julio starting to get more involved, I don't know how confident I am. And the matchup is horrible. So that's why I have Auden a little bit lower this week. Rest of season, I think I would have it Bellinger first, then Auden, then Okonkwo last. But just this week, I do think also the reason Okonkwo is ranked first this week is because of Treylon Burks probably being out. If that were not the case, then Okonkwo would be last instead of first. But there's just no one else.
Dan Bellinger playing 97% of snaps last week. And
Daniel Bellinger is someone I'm in on long term. Rookie awesome. Tight end getting that kind of usage is great.
It's sweet.
He's someone
that can feel comfortable.
So in Dynasty, in Dynasty, I have. I mean, to me, Bellinger first, then Auden second, but those two are very close, and Okonkwo is third, way down. I like him
with a ton of upside. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I like him, and honestly, I'm looking at my ranks, and I don't like my rank of him. It's too low. I'm gonna move him up actually. Right,
he just has so much upside that.
Yeah, I don't like my rank of him.
I agree with your rankings, though.
Yes, the other two, we're talking about players who have proven that they can handle an every down role from multiple games.
Yeah. And
Okonkwo is someone who's had a bit part role and flashed. So that's a whole different conversation.
But to Hutch's point, if you told me Cameron Brate was missing the rest of the year, it would. Well,
then I would have Auden first. Yeah,
it would be.
Yeah, Auden would be first. Yeah, because when Cameron Brate misses, Auden shows up.
Yeah. It's just this week I'm skeptical. At San Francisco is worst of the worst.
It is a brutal matchup. I will give you that.
I have Tom Brady so low. I mean, I have Tom Brady at quarterback 17. Like, to have Tom Brady that low.
I don't know if that's low enough.
It just is because it really gets bad. There's only 26 quarterbacks.
6 teams on bye, yeah.
There's only 26 quarterbacks. So 17 out of 26 is
I could find a world where I want to rank him lower.
It's hard. If you actually look at who comes after, if you actually look at who comes after, it's not so easy. All right. We're gonna go faster.
Let's do it.
Because we're falling now. We're almost 2 hours behind in the chat.
No, we're 2. Yeah. We're good.
I've got Komet on a bye. Need to make a claim. Available are Dulcich and Ingram, Fant, Henry. Dulcich for sure. Dulcich is in what universe is Dulcich? I'd rather have Dulcich over Komet rest of the season by a lot. Cortland failure has really disappointed there. So they need someone who can actually catch the ball and get open, which failure can't do.
Dulcich. I would pick up Dulcich.
Yeah, failure. He's really bad. Yeah, it's Cortland Sutton. He looked really bad this week. And then there was another injury, another problem.
Nobody.
I mean, if the report out of Dallas is true that he's not going to be ready until January, then nobody.
Yeah, nobody's going to sign him unless Dallas does.
Well, let's see if other people have a different opinion about when he's going to be ready. But assuming this is the real opinion, then it's going to be nobody. What kind of return would be looking for Rachaad White? Good question.
I don't. Yeah, that's a great question, but I don't know if as a league we want to sell him.
No, he's fine because he's not that young. He's not someone I'm like committed to in a rebuild. I mean, Rachaad White, I believe, is similar age to Jonathan Taylor now. Let's see.
And what does that team look like if Tom Brady?
Actually, he's older than Jonathan Taylor, right? And you would say Jonathan Taylor's not a piece you're hanging on to in a rebuild. Probably. Wait. You're probably moving him.
Why did I just look up on Google? It says he's 23.
He is.
Jonathan Taylor's 23.
23.
They're both January 99. Yep. White is, I believe, a few days older. So
he's gonna be 24 soon.
Mm-hmm. They're both January 99. So Rachaad White is not someone I'm committed to in a rebuild. So what would I be looking for? I'd be looking for someone to reset the age clock. So who could that be?
Young, very young.
Look at players in the similar value.
Because the thing is, like, running back.
I would take Christian Watson for Rachaad White.
I would
straight up.
I would definitely do
that. Christian Watson.
If that trade is available, definitely do that.
Yeah, that's a suggestion. What about George Pickens? George Pickens is kind of winning lately.
I think I'd have Pickens.
I have Pickens still ahead of Watson. I think
I don't like how he's been relating with the coaching staff because he just keeps yelling at them to give me the ball and then he doesn't get the ball.
Did you see Mike Tomlin's interview about George Pickens?
He was defending him though, right?
Very much so.
He was defending him, but
more than defending.
Yes, more than defending. Yeah.
He was like bending over backwards to defend him, which is not Mike Tomlin.
That is not Mike Tomlin.
How good? No, it isn't. How good?
No. He defends his players he does.
But like he kind of criticized Chase Claypool during the whole music saga.
He's a player's coach.
Not if you misbehave. But he bent over backwards to defend George Pickens, which means that he was like, he even emphasized, I like guys who want to be involved in the offense more, which tells you, read between the lines there, that tells you that he wants George Pickens to be involved in the offense more. And he was also not happy that George Pickens didn't have a prominent role in the last game.
Matt Canada.
Yeah,
He
no,
should have a prominent role in this
I
offense.
think that Mike Tomlin thinks that George Pickens is an elite level talent. I think that's really.
I think George Pickens is the best. George Pickens really might be the best receiver on that team. I know Deontay Johnson's there, but I really think George Pickens might be the best receiver on that team.
Yes,
I think he's the best receiver on the team.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson is good, but I think George Pickens is much better.
Like, there are flashes that George Pickens shows where it's like that dude could be a
More
top
than
5 NFL wide receiver next year.
Yeah. For some clarity,
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like a top 10 consensus NFL wide receiver after 2023.
Yeah, I mean that's very much in the range.
Not at all.
He's also very young, I believe. He's a 2001 birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that last
that's
question was the
21 years
Olave thing. The Saquon Henry Eckler. That was the Olave trade for Zach Wilson that we debated forever.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep moving through the questions a little faster. So, Najee Harris and 23 pick for Jameson.
Do that trade.
Yeah, Najee Harris is worth more.
Sorry.
Yeah, so we're gonna take that side. Start 8 Fields, Aaron Jones on in 224 seconds, or Herbert. What? Herbert Burrow on 24 first.
Sometimes these trades.
Yeah, sometimes these trades.
I still haven't even processed it yet.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, okay. Rashad White, Jalen Waddle, Josh Palmer, Amari Cooper start 2. With Fournette kind of back and splitting work with White, I'm gonna go with Waddle and Amari pretty easily. Not very close for me.
Yes.
All right. I don't know what the laughing is for, but I appreciate the comment. I put this in the F4 chat, but I'll throw it here too. 102, 104, 107, 109. A lot of picks for Waddle, Garrett Wilson. Oh, just given the value, I'll take the Waddle player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give me the players.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Players.
players. Definitely.
No 101
Players here,
and the
'cause,
players.
like,
Definitely.
Waddle,
You got 4
Waddle
players
or
here that are
Wilson
worth
is,
2 firsts.
Yeah,
probably
Waddle
all
or
of them.
Wilson is similar to that.
Some maybe more.
102.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ
It's
Brown
just
and
too
Waddle
much.
might be worth more than that.
It's just too much. The value's on the player side.
Yeah, it's way too much on the player side. Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. So some teams roster like 4 quarterbacks. I wouldn't worry about that. Just stick to your values. I wouldn't change based on who rosters what. That's always something I say, but I haven't actually said it on here in a long time, so I'll emphasize it again here. Before the season, I traded away Josh Allen for Deshaun Watson. I assume that's Deshaun Watson. DJ Moore, Dobbins in 25 first. That's okay.
Especially going into the season.
That's okay, you know.
Going into the season, the value was better.
Yeah, DJ Moore and Dobbins have definitely gotten crushed a little bit.
Yeah, that's okay.
But going into the season, you would have been a lot happier about that. You would have been like, good job, man. Good job.
Wow, the 104?
Oh, take the 104.
I think it would take the 104, yeah. I am excited for Jameson Williams. I mean, like,
Superflex league,
because he is game-changing. Oh, wait, what? I can't put comments up on the chat. Why does Tyler think? Okay. Who else can put comments up?
Look, we got a really good comment up here right now.
Yes. But Tyler just DM'd me and said, Hutch, take over the chat. But I can't.
One of these days.
One of these days, you'll get the admin powers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
but are you making this trade?
I would make this move, for Jameson. I would make this move. It's 104 for Jameson. So let's just keep going through the comments. I'll keep reading them. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to pull them up, but I can keep reading through them. So, I mean, we already talked about Rashad White. Let's look for the next one.
Pretty much, it seems like we're going to be taking all the high upside rookies over rookie wide receivers over Rashad White. We like Rashad White, but
yes. Yeah, it looks like
Tom Brady may be leaving.
Looks like he's someone we're looking to sell high based on most of our conversation.
I think you should probably sell high on Rashad White if you can.
All right, so 12-team PPR, 1 quarterback, start 8 Chubb and a 2024 second, or DeAndre Swift and 2 thirds and 2 24 thirds. 2 23 thirds and 2 24 thirds. The thirds mean almost nothing to me. It's not really doesn't really make much of a difference.
8 is so small too.
I mean, it really depends on your team's situation, because if you're a win now, actually no, because Swift has been actually better as of late. He actually had a nice game last week. Yeah. I think I would take DeAndre Swift, but just barely. The thirds at least are dart throws, but they're not worth much to me. But I would, and Chubb doesn't have many years left. Chubb is like what maybe next year, and then I don't think he's gonna last much longer. Like he's reaching that point. So I think I'll take DeAndre Swift, just barely here though.
Man, I got to tell you, I love seeing DeAndre Swift. I asked Tyler, and maybe when he gets here, like at the beginning of the show, because he said he didn't talk about very much on his show the previous day, like what he's thinking about DeAndre Swift, and we never actually got into it. But
he does not like DeAndre Swift.
No, I know that. I just wanted to see how he kind of feels about him after this
big week.
Yeah,
as he actually had
he was the guy, right?
Yeah.
It definitely was encouraging to me, to say the least. I've always been high on DeAndre Swift, definitely higher than Tyler's been lately. But, you know, I don't want to put him back into my top 5 running backs all of a sudden either. Nick Chubb, he's 26 years old now. He'll be 27 next year. He's probably only got a couple years in him, but he is producing right now.
But it looks like Swift could be too, and he's younger.
Yeah, absolutely. I lean Swift. I would rather have Swift. I would rather have the young running back.
Have Swift.
Yeah. If we're just talking about Swift versus,
and you're also talking about, look, would you rather hold on, let's talk about this. Would you rather have the 24 second or 4 thirds? 23 thirds, 24 thirds. That doesn't really matter. It's basically
that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like
Tyler,
Swift.
I still don't have power to pull up comments.
You should.
I don't know why.
Didn't we give you this?
I don't.
I think you would have to log into StreamYard to be able to.
Yeah, you should be able to do that. Talk to
which login? Which log? Should I just log into like my personal account? Or
no, you have to log into the DLF one. Addison. Okay, so yeah, between this show and the next one, like talk to Addison and like he took a while.
Oh, my top right hand screen says log in. That's why.
I see.
Yeah, it doesn't log me in automatically when I.
Yeah, just in the future. Yeah, just make sure you like talk to him because he needs to give you the StreamYard login code every time, which is like really low key.
Really?
That's how it works.
Yeah, because it keeps
if
logging.
You keep logging in and out, then you need the StreamYard code every time.
Wait, maybe hold on. Maybe if I let me try something.
Use different browsers, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I tried to pull up StreamYard and it just said log into your account, but I don't know the account password. But yeah, that's annoying.
It's probably important.
I don't know. All right, but let's keep moving forward. So Tyler, the comment we have up were a few comments below that we did, and we went with Andrew Carlson's count. Andrew Carlson's question, that's an answer for him. And then second Andrew Carlson question, that's what we're on. We're supposed to be there.
Paris Campbell, yeah.
Who's the dude on the top left? It's me,
Tyler.
This was asked a long time ago, so it was not when I was in the bathroom.
This was a while ago.
Is this someone I know?
You were still in the top left too.
Yeah, I know, but is this someone I know? I wonder if this is someone I know.
I don't know.
Dr. Squanchy.
Calvin Ridley's by low. Maybe. How much fab are we spending on James Cook? Have we talked about James Cook at all?
Yes.
No, I think he's probably the best ad of the week this week. I can't imagine many other more people. No, you disagree?
No, I completely agree.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better ad than him this week. James Cook. I mean, like he led the backfield in touches. He led them in snaps. Like if that's really what we're looking at rest of the season, that is a great piece to have, especially if he keeps getting 11 targets the past 2 weeks like he's been getting. If he keeps getting that type of volume in the receiving game, James Cook is a smash pickup. He's definitely not available in your dynasty league, but in redrafts he's rostered about 30% of sleeper leagues. That's what I've seen.
25 on ESPN. So yeah.
25 on ESPN. He's available out there. He's out there. So if your league mates aren't as most leagues I play in, he's rostered. I try to look for him this week. Most leagues I play him, he's rostered. And I play a lot of like analyst leagues. So maybe for
I think in a lot of more casual leagues, he's out there.
In the more casual leagues, he's out there like in your home league.
But 25% of leagues, right?
But I'm not like really excited for him.
He was dropped in mine because I dropped.
I'm not super excited. Like,
if he's gonna get 5 or 6 targets most weeks, I'm excited.
That's nothing to be excited for. I don't think he has much upside.
Yeah, the upside is limited because I don't think he's ever going to get that workhorse role. He's just not built for that.
But I'd rather. I don't know. I'm not that excited.
If you give him like 5-6 targets a game along with like 5 to 10 carries, which he got 14 last week, I mean, like if
he's getting double-digit carries and 5 catches a week, he's going to be an every week starter.
Yeah, easily.
It's as simple as that. I mean, like more than every week. So he'll be a top 15 running back at that point in the Buffalo Bills offense.
Yeah, exactly. Especially in that offense where there could be a lot of
I mean, we've talked about this a zillion times, but in the Buffalo Bills offense, with how much Josh Allen vultures in the running game, if you don't get everything, you're not startable.
When Devin Singletary gets work, he is good. He's the guy you want in your
lineup. When he gets 70% or more. If he gets
that's what we're talking about. If James Cook's getting that, I think he has more upside than Devin Singletary.
That's probably true, but he's never going to get 70% or more. Devin Singletary would have to get hurt.
He doesn't have to get 70% or more because if he gets 5 targets a game, if he gets 5 or 6 targets a game, gets 4 or 5 catches a game, that gives him like an 8-point PPR floor. And with the rushing added on, that's enough.
We're getting to the end of the season here. How much fab do you spend on James Cook? Rest of the season outlook. We're kind of talking about rest of the season outlook. You spend up for him if you need a running back, right?
Yeah, I'd be willing to spend up.
Right? He's someone I'm just kind of like, like I'm not that excited.
No, I get that. There's a very low.
I am excited this season for Devin Singletary.
What do you mean?
Really? Because James Cook led the team in snaps and touches last week.
No, well,
I think actually Devin Singletary had like
he did
a percentage more snaps, didn't he? I was looking at it early, like 2 days ago. I'm
mostly excited for Devin Singletary because their playoff matchups are Dolphins, Bears, Bengals.
Those are all good,
especially the Bears in Week 16.
Yeah, they're a great match of the Bills running backs.
So let's just say the Bills decide to give James Cook that workload. If they do,
it's not going to happen.
I'm not saying
it's never going to happen.
Let's say they do.
It's never going to happen.
He's
179. He weighs 179 pounds. It's not going to happen.
He doesn't weigh 170. He went to 190 pounds. There is upside.
Sorry, wait, that's wrong.
I'm curious why they went away from Devin Singletary in the last game. To be honest,
I just did a video on him. I was looking at these things.
I'm kind of curious. I do want to know why they went away from Devin Singletary more in the last game. If it was just kind of the way it worked out. Because he'd been, for the previous 6 weeks, he'd been 72% of snaps or more. So they went away from him, which is interesting. I don't know if it was a one-game blip, just kind of how it worked out, or if it was a sign of something new. We'll have to see. I think we'll see this week which one it is.
We will. You can't really rely on James Cook this week.
We're going to learn. And the Jets are not exactly a matchup where I'm running in to start him.
No. But there's a ton of upside in my
for multiple reasons. One, I think they'll be playing from ahead, which means they'll probably lean more towards Singletary, I would think. Less passing to the running back. And then also the Jets defense.
Typically, Singletary is more involved when they're in competitive games, though.
The Jets defense is also very strong.
I think if they're playing from ahead, James Cook is the guy they'll go to a little bit more. Personally, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Doubt it. Devin Singletary is bigger.
I think they just want to know what they got more.
Yeah, because they've seen Devin Singletary for like 4 years now. James Cook is a rookie who hasn't gotten much opportunity. I think if I had to bet which one of these guys is going to lead at the end of the season, I would bet on James Cook. They're going to let the rookie see what they're going to let they see what they've got in the rookie. Like, why? Like, you've seen Devin Singletary for 4 years. You know exactly what he is.
And he's
been okay. He's okay. He's a solid NFL running back.
Yeah.
He's a solid NFL running back. But the upside of James Cook is so enticing. I think the Bills are going to take that opportunity and give him more work and see where it's at. I don't think he's going to get a workhorse role. I said the weight is wrong. I said 179. It is 190. And
190 is light for a running back regardless.
He's very light. Yeah.
It's the
point stands. Like, he's not going to be a workhorse back in the NFL. With how small he is, it's just not possible. Like, it's just not that outcome is not there for him. It's never going to happen. But if you're telling me he gets around 10 carries a game along with 6 targets a game, that's going to give you a double-digit PPR floor every single week. And he's going to be a weekly starter. And if he gets in the end zone, even better. That's going to be an elite week. So James Cook is somebody that I'm absolutely interested in the rest of the season.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interested.
Lance for the 105.
I think it sounds like you guys are interested. I'll take the 105. Yes, right? Yep.
Yeah, the 105.
Lance is just so scary.
It's tough. Lance
take the 105. The 105 can't get hurt again.
I think overall value, the 105 definitely has more value.
Yeah. Is it smart to take Stafford for Lockett in a Superflex rebuild? I'll take Stafford. Still. Sucks, but I'll take Stafford.
His career could be over. You want to take that chance?
I don't think Matthew Stafford's career is over. And if you don't think that, you got to take Stafford, I think. If you actually think his career is over,
about him. I'm very worried about Stafford.
What's the reason to come back, though? That team's going to be terrible.
I'll take Stafford anyway, though. Just because of Lockett in a rebuild, what does that even mean?
Yeah, Lockett in a rebuild is pointless.
Yeah. So I'll take Stafford and hope.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, unfortunately, guys, I do gotta head out. I actually do have a test I have to study for tomorrow, and I haven't studied much all week, so I actually gotta hop out. Unfortunately,
you better pass it. You better
pass it. You better.
What test is it?
It's a government and politics test.
Ooh, I failed my last government test. I remember that one vividly. It was a president's test. I remember them all.
Yeah, I did fine the last one. Should be good here. But we'll see.
Good luck. So. I want to see that. I want to see that grade. All right. After.
All right. I'll show you. I'll show you the grade.
Send it over.
If you, I'll probably forget if you don't remind me. So I'll have to. I'll
make sure.
We'll hold you to it.
Hold me to it. All right. I will. I guess I'll see you guys with that grade then. And I'll see you all next week on SDLF.
You're the man. You're the man.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Good for him studying.
Now it's actual rapid. Now it's actual rapid.
I never actually studied in school, so it's nice to see someone doing it.
It is very nice.
Give Deontay in my first plus Donovan Knight for Godwin 204 and 308.
Plus Donovan for Godwin. Oh God.
I'll lean Godwin here if the first is really that late. I guess.
Yeah, so you're like hopping back like five picks.
Yeah.
And
I'll go
gaining
Godwin.
some later value.
I'll go Godwin.
And getting Godwin.
I'll go Godwin.
Yeah.
I'm more with the fact he says he's his wide receiver 5. So like if you have 4 wide receivers better than Godwin at this point.
You're so loaded, bro.
You're loaded, yeah.
I guarantee you Christian Watson won't score a TD this week. He will.
I agree.
On his bye week.
I agree, man.
He'll find a way to score a touchdown on his bye week. He's just that overpowered, you know?
I love it.
That would be funny if he found a way to score a touchdown this week.
You know how teams lose the bye week? He scores touchdowns on his.
I know. Yeah, Adams. All right. Is Rachaad White mid 23 first and late 23 second enough of a discount to buy Pitts? It's okay.
No, I think it is in this league.
Oh, 2 tight end? Then
yeah. 2 tight end premium.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah. 2 tight ends?
Then it's a value.
Yeah.
Will you start Hunter Henry or Bellinger over Kittle this week? No. I'll play Kittle.
Hunter Henry has an awesome matchup.
I don't care.
The worst. Yeah, it's Kittle.
I don't care.
I know
I don't think I'm ready to start Williams yet. Jameson yet.
No.
A rookie wide receiver is always a wild card. A rookie, anyone is a wild card. But yes. Yeah, this is kind of saying what I was saying, that he's shown that he showed all of them, so he's worth more. I think he's worth more, but I think he's worth more now than he was during rookie season.
I really do think it's pretty freaking similar. I really do.
To me, it isn't, but I had him lower during.
Just in the general, I know it's not for you. Just in generally, I think it's pretty similar. I think.
Drop Jameson Williams, Dobbins, or Madison for a QB replacement for Lamar. Well, let's say this is redraft and you have to pick one. I think I'd just drop Jameson. I think I'm fine letting him go. I know you've waited this long, but you were
100% drop Jameson if these were my options to drop.
Yeah, I assume you didn't hold him on your bench. I assume you held him in an IR spot, and now he's off IR, and you have to make a decision on him. I think that I'm just not going to wait for Jameson.
Yeah.
This is the debating I came here for. I think people like it, and I think that Josh is very skilled at debating.
I know how to make you look real dumb.
No, you don't.
I'm joking, man.
I do that enough myself. I don't need your help. But thank you.
I'm messing around with you. I love I love debating, man. If I think something it makes sense to me and you don't.
It's funny. I think I'm more like a nerd type of fantasy analyst than people think, because I don't really explain anything or much of my process on here. It's funny, Peter. If DLF family of podcasts, I'd like to give some plugs to some of the DLF stuff. So the Dynasty Crossroads, Peter Howard had Russ Fisher, Dynasty Outhouse, on there, and Russ was talking about his process and how it's kind of. There was some discussion of how his process was just I'm Russ. I've done this for a while. Listen to me. And I was thinking about it myself and about me. And I'm it's not that different from how I am. I'm kind of like that too. A lot of the times I'm I've done this a while. I have this, been long time, like trust my instincts. Like that's why you should listen to me. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Definitely not like Peter much at all. That's why I want to have Peter on the show at some point. Because he couldn't be more different from me. Russ and I are more similar.
Analytical. Just getting into the numbers and the little like minutia of everything.
But the other thing I bring back to that is I'm a lot more like that in my real life. But for some reason in fantasy football, I'm not that way. I don't like that approach to fantasy football personally. I think it's an enjoyment factor for me. I just don't enjoy like the deep statistical dives.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing. I think you can be both, but when you're having these conversations, like being like, well, if we look at the A plus,
it's how you have the conversation. Like when Peter talks about that on Dynasty Grind or on Crossroads, you can tell he's like passionate about it. Yeah, and like that's his passion, and it comes across as entertaining because he's passionate about it. If I had the same conversation and I talked about it probably wouldn't come off as very entertaining because I'm not passionate about it. And I'm not passionate about the deep statistical dive. So that's why we have different people having different kinds of content. Like I'm passionate about talking about dynasty strategy. You got a discussion about primacy and recency effect, like on here. You got like the Mark talking about the dynasty market, that kind of stuff. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm more into. Kind of like the more softer skills, I would say, of dynasty, whereas other people are more into like the harder data driven numbers side of it, but you have to be able to do it all.
Stay soft, guys.
You're gonna give this show an X rating.
What? I was just saying, like, say some what? Look, we got a lot of questions we gotta get to.
Yeah, we gotta go.
A lot of questions, man.
Don't rush me. We'll get to them when I get to them.
Stay soft.
You're going to get the show canceled one day.
Cancel it then. Cancel it.
I'm not canceling it. I'm going to do this show forever until the day I die.
All right. That's cool with me. Like, seriously, I'm cool with that.
So, I used to say that would be like when I was 30. So, your age.
I'm not that old. I'm not that old,
guys.
For anyone that's older than 30, don't worry about it. We're good.
Would you sell Rachaad White for a late? This is why I'm never going to quit doing this show. I love these.
100%.
I would sell it. I would sell him for the picks.
Yes.
I am not paying a mid-23 first for Pollard. Thumbs down.
No. I will say that I think Pollard has a lot of dynasty value going forward, though.
I agree.
I think this is fair value. Like,
let's ask this. This is crazy. If you could choose between and you only get to give a name with no justification. If you could choose between Rachaad White and Tony Pollard, who would you pick in Dynasty? Rachaad White or Tony Pollard? Just
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Oh, I'll be the different one and take Rachaad White then. Okay. Eckler and Zay Jones, not just to be different. I would never do that.
No. Rachaad White's a lot younger, blah, blah, blah. I get it.
No, I only asked it because I literally have them not just back-to-back among running backs, but back-to-back overall. So I wanted to hear what you guys have.
I know Tony Pollard. Look, he's get like 26 now, right?
Yeah, he's older than people think.
I know.
Though.
What about this one? This one I think is easy.
To the top of this 26-year-old.
Eckler and Zay Jones for Javonte, Elijah Moore, and late first. It's the Javonte side.
Eckler and Zay Jones. So I know we were talking a lot of crap about Javonte earlier on the show. If I'm not like competing right now, I'd rather have Javonte over Eckler. So
if I'm not competing.
So you're adding a first round pick onto this. Elijah Moore, I'd rather have over Zay Jones. Yeah.
All right. We're gonna move faster.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Is going. No. It's whose fault do you think it is? Whose fault is it that we're not moving fast?
Yours.
Who's the one who constantly goes off on diatribes, tangents, and talks about whatever he wants?
Like when I do a little summation, I kind of be like, okay, this.
No, I'm doing it right now. I'm talking about why we're not getting to the questions instead of answering the questions.
I'll take full fault for that, Tyler. It's all my fault.
Okay, Brian.
Exactly.
I wish I would have said it was you. I wish I would have said it was you right away.
We all want to take the blame. This is a good point. Addison did a video on this, which I can't pull up right now because he does so many videos that I can't find which one. But he did a video on this about how one player usually doesn't make the difference. I don't know if that's what.
But it can,
Eric.
It can.
No. But Addison did a video. It's a very, very good video. So
I agree with that premise that it usually does.
I just wish I had the link to the video handy.
No,
I know, but I just wish I had the link. 224 first for Garrett Wilson. I'll take Garrett Wilson over 224 first.
Yeah, especially if he's going to be the number 3 wide receiver in Dynasty.
Craig got Amon-Ra for Elijah Mitchell in Dynasty earlier this year. I like that. And I will say that Craig, I believe, is number 1 overall in scoring in Scott Fishbowl.
He is.
Right now.
Yeah. Craig, you're making the right
Craig's
moves. I bet Amon-Ra St. Brown's on your Scott Fishbowl team.
I don't think he is.
You're just smart, Craig.
I think I don't know.
Craig,
I think
what happened?
Is Rashid Shaheed looking like a good end of bench stash? No. No, we don't stash roster clogging wide receivers like him. So no.
I agree with what you said.
No.
I was about to say,
want to stash running backs and backup quarterbacks in
the
Superflex.
bench.
You don't want to stash
Maybe,
receivers.
But you're right.
Garrett is a steal. Okay. I traded Mike White for a 24-second. Is that a good deal? I'm going to say yes. I'd rather have a 24-second. Mike White was worth nothing 3 weeks ago. 24-second is always going to be good. So I'll take.
These are the kind of moves that make you good in Dynasty.
Exactly. Absolutely. I made the playoffs. Well, how can you beat a guy that has these players? I mean, you start better players, score more points. I don't know. I don't know.
Pretty hard though. I saw.
How do you feel about
any given week, guys? It can happen.
Any given Sunday.
Like I'm telling you, it's possible. Put together your best
NFL
lineup. Get into the playoffs. You can win.
If you think the NFL is random, imagine how random fantasy football
is. It's more random. Especially for redraft leagues, get into the playoffs. You could win. Yeah. I've won with teams that I probably shouldn't have.
Nothing like waking up to Kenyon Drake.
How do you feel about? Let's answer this one. How do you feel about Cooper and ETN? I'm thinking of starting Pierce over ETN. I'm not going to do that. And Cooper over Hollywood over Cooper. I'm going to start Cooper. I'm going to start Cooper and ETN here this week.
I guess.
I don't. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, definitely ETN.
Yeah. How do I feel about Deion Sanders going to coach Colorado and leaving Jackson State? I don't care.
Watch the video.
He
said, y'all stink. You were 111 last year, basically.
I'll say something about it real fast. It's weird because he went to Colorado. He went to Colorado, which isn't like a game-changing program for him. I don't love the move to Colorado.
It's the stepping stone. It's the middle step.
It's his first.
It's not. It barely is as a stepping stone. I feel like you need a bigger one for saying everything he said.
It's a Power 5 school. What do you mean barely?
They won 1 game last year.
And they're going to win a lot more games this year. They're going to win a lot more games.
For everything he said, he looks like a hypocrite making this move to go to Colorado, in my opinion. That's all I'll say.
Just wait till Nick Saban retires and he goes down.
Man who had plenty of money. I mean,
it hurts his perception doing this to go to Colorado for me.
He took a lower salary, at his current job and then donated half of it back to the program to build their facilities. I really don't think that this is such a bad person. I think this is someone who's going to have
I didn't call him a bad person.
No, I know, but I don't really have any issue with that. I think he did a lot of great things at Jackson State. I mean, he raised the profile of HBCUs far more than anyone else has in the past. I mean, how often have we ever talked about it? I mean, how often has it ever been talked about? How often has it been on the radar of any national media talking about college football at all? Ever? I mean, when was the last time, right?
Colorado.
What did you say? No one talked about it until he went and coached there. And then now all of a sudden people started talking about it. So I think that's a great thing that he did. And now he's moving to a different program, a Power 5 school. And I wish him the best.
And he's taking every good player with him.
I mean, that's what happens when you move in college schools. That's what happens when you move in college from one coach to another. I mean, that's very common. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he does.
I was an idiot. I was like, let's get ready for the big battles with USC. I posted on a Twitter comment. I got flamed for that a little bit because they're going to the Big Ten. I just over the head.
Yeah, let's see what
happens. Can't wait for the winter snow games in Iowa.
12-team Superflex top contender with a Lamar problem. Well, it's amazing you're a top contender with a Lamar.
The Ravens have got one of those problems right now too.
I'd consider trading Lamar, but give me something specific other than just would I trade Lamar. How do we feel about Rachaad White? I'll give you my ranking of Rachaad White.
Top value. How do we feel about Rachaad White?
Oh, I have Rachaad White at running back 19 this week, so like you can still play him, but
that's exactly. Yeah, still a number 2 running back.
Yeah. We're gonna finish up. Bellinger, Okonkwo, and Auden pick 2. We answered this already. Safe to drop Jameson for James Cook in redraft? Absolutely. Take James Cook.
Yes.
Happy BR keep 2 gross edition. Well, it is pretty gross.
My favorite.
Ryan, you got this one.
Yeah, right. Zach Moss, Treston Ebner. This is really terrible.
Yeah, it's so gross.
Michael Hasty, for me. I guess I'll keep Eno Benjamin. I don't know. He showed them.
Did he get signed?
Yeah, he's on the Texans.
Yeah.
I'll keep Eno Benjamin and I don't know, Jermichael Hasty. I don't want Zach.
Hasty. I take Zach Moss.
No, I don't want Zach Miss on my team. I don't want Zach Miss.
I think Zach Moss is one of the people I keep.
No, Zach Miss is no good for me.
He's just younger than everyone else. Well, Ebner.
I go him and Hasty. We saw Hasty produce.
He would infest. Zach Moss, I think, would infest my team with failure. I don't want to have failure.
That's
just
too
much of an infestation. I can't have more.
He's the number one. He stepped up.
No, I don't want any infestation.
The fact that Ebner just hasn't even done anything.
Ebner lost the backup role to Darrington Evans.
I know.
Ebner's the easy cut here. But Zach Moss will be my other cut.
Okay, that's fine. But Benjamin got cut. But yeah. Hey,
well,
Mr. Snappers. What's up? Yeah.
Possible. Right. Oh, here. Scuba, listen to me. Goff in 24 fourth or 24 sec. Okay. Goff, acquiring Goff and a 23 fourth for a 23 second. If you need to do it, that's okay. I'm fine with that one. Lamar or Dak and a 23. So giving Lamar for Dak and a 23 second. I could live with that if I had to. Lamar and a 23 second or Herbert. I take Herbert. Lamar and Rondale Moore for Tua and Ramondre. I take Tua and Ramondre there. So, yeah, that's my answer.
You're okay with every single one of them.
Yeah. Josh Kelly worth the roster from Dynasty? No, not really.
Yeah, most Dynasty leagues, I think he probably should be rostered.
Bad. I call him Joshua Fumble. He's Joshua Fumble. He's bad.
He's looked better.
Oh, look.
He has as many yards of carry as Austin Eckler this year.
We have XXX20.fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, fun. Oh, that does look like fun.
Yeah, well, that's... oh my God. Later. You don't want to know what just came into my head, what I was going to say.
Ooh.
No, it's not ooh. It was an insult.
Mm-hmm.
It was for you. Waiver wire, Cam, Cooks, or Seattle back. So is that
Cam
Akers? Yeah. Not Brandon Cooks. Speaking of Lawrence to Lamar, what would it take to go from Lamar to Mahomes or Allen? I think it would take more than a first to go from Lamar to Mahomes or Allen at this point.
I'd say attach like a mid-level player, sort of like a Christian Kirk in Dynasty. I think would be enough on top of the first.
Yeah. In addition to,
yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give Lamar a first plus.
I think you have to, though.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I don't agree with this one. Raiders.
Not the time to trade Lamar. That's awesome.
Raiders or Steelers DST if Lamar doesn't play.
Lamar's not playing.
I know the Raiders have a great match. The Raiders are playing the Rams, I think, if I remember correctly. But
I'm still going to go with the Steelers against Baltimore without Lamar. Yeah, we talked about this whole leverage situation. How much to go from Jimmy G to Lamar? It's not even relevant. Jimmy G versus Lamar. Jimmy G is so far.
2 firsts.
Yeah, whatever Lamar is worth.
Yeah.
Call Jimmy G worth a second, and then whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the trade deadline. I think the two best options are no trade deadline at all, or the trade deadline starts right before the playoffs start. I think those are the two best options, and I'm okay with either. I don't really have a preference. I see the arguments for both. I kind of part of me dislikes having trades while the playoffs are. I think it's kind of, here's why I'm split about it. If I'm a good team, I want the trade deadline to end before the playoffs start. If I'm a rebuilder, I want the trade deadline to go all the way through. So since, whatever, I kind of see it both ways. So that's why I don't really have a preference, because depending on the state of my team, I have a different preference for when I want the trade deadline to end. That's just my take on that one. How much do you pay for Burrow? I'm not paying any first and a 1 QB for Burrow. Garrett Wilson or 105? Garrett Wilson.
Wow. We said he was worth 2 first earlier.
If we were talking 102, maybe we'd be talking in a Superflex. Maybe. But 101 for sure.
Yeah. It sounds like
we're
you
talking
take Garrett Wilson over 102, right?
I mean, it depends. I mean, the quarterback, if quarterback is coming, the quarterback is picked first overall. Decent chance I prefer that quarterback over Garrett Wilson in Superflex.
Yeah.
So 102 is a conversation, but that's the conversation. 105 is not a conversation.
Yeah.
Is Zay Jones a reliable option and start 3 wide receivers? I have him wide receiver 28-9, so I'm gonna with 6 buys. I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, he's a flex.
Pick up Okonkwo, Kelly, or Dallas. In Dynasty, I'll take Okonkwo.
I agree.
By a lot. Yeah,
I agree.
Thanks, guys. Y'all are awesome. Thank you.
Thanks,
you're awesome.
Clint. Follow well.
Yes,
well.
Clint.
I like it.
Yes. Maddie says, I need a second starting quarterback. I have Hurts, Heineke, Wentz, and Ritter. Which quarterback would you recommend trading for? Looking to give between 2 to 3 late firsts for a quarterback?
2 to 3?
Yeah. Well,
shoot for the moon, man.
Yeah, then you should be getting someone very good for 2 to 3 firsts.
Joe Burrow
Joe Burrow or
Herbert.
Yeah, Joe Burrow or Herbert. Yeah, that's what it's.
I'd go
something in that area. With 105, 106, and 107.
Would you do that?
No. 105, 106, and 107. Would you rather keep the picks, move for Bijan, or add on for Chase and Jefferson? Depends. Depends on how much you have to pay. Muth and Rondale Moore
for Jason Jefferson. If you have to add on Bijan, yeah.
Muth and Rondale Moore or mid 23 first. I'll take
tight end premium. Yeah.
I'll take the Muth.
It's tough. What's mid?
It is tough.
It's what's mid. Is mid 109 or is mid 103? Because
Pat Frymuth, I think, is worth a late first round pick by himself.
Yeah,
you know.
What is mid? Yeah, I need to know what mid means.
I just assume 6 every time.
Rondale Moore,
6.
I think the value is on Muth and Rondale Moore.
If it's 6, I'll just take the 106. I think the one player is going to be better.
That's fair.
I don't think Muth is going to be a league winner ever. I think he's in the next kind of group of players you have from time to time.
That's fine. I mean, it's hard to say any tight end's a league winner, I guess.
No, you have him. And I don't think he's going to be that. They're rare.
You have Travis Kelce and
Mark Andrews last year. Mark Andrews last year was a league winner. Name
the last one.
There aren't many. Rob Gronkowski when he was in. There aren't
Zach
many.
Ertz
There aren't
couple
many.
Years, I guess.
Yeah, there aren't many. So that's why. But really, if you're going to have premium value, you have to have the ability to be a league winner, a tight end. If you don't have the ability to be a league winner, you don't have super premium value. So I just don't think that Pat Frymuth has the ability to enter that group ever. So his value is always going to be limited to me.
Yeah.
Just how I see it. Not competing until 24. My DK for Carr, Deontay Johnson, 24 first. If this is a super flex, it's too much. The value's on the Carr side. Yeah, the value's on the Carr side for sure. If this is one QB, it's a different story. But assuming this is super flex, the value's definitely on the Carr side. Oh, I thought we answered this one, but I'll answer it now. Paris Campbell in 2 23 thirds. Cam Akers, I'll take Campbell in the 2 thirds. And Cam Akers.
Yes.
I don't want
the
Cam
brand.
Akers. Okay. Your brand is Paris Campbell. That's very
Tyler wanted to skip that question. You didn't want to say anything.
You wanted to skip.
No, you told me to skip that question. You told me you answered it. I would have answered it. I don't shy away. I don't shy away from the tough questions on this show. I don't care. I even put up questions about why are you so annoying? I have answered that one.
Is he frozen for you?
Yes. But that's okay. He's on a very, very good frozen face.
He is.
Fields for 24 first, 24 second, 24 third, 25 first.
Give me Fields.
If this is super flex, I'll take Fields. If it's not, I'll take the other side.
You don't even know what the 25 class is going to look like.
Yeah, that's true. Mostert or Singletary, week 14 only, non-PPR. I will take Singletary.
Very
close, though.
It's very close.
I have Singletary at running back 24 and Mostert at 29. Oh, he's
That's
gone.
fair. I mean, maybe the James Cook thing was a one thing, like you said.
What happened there?
My internet was like, it was just loading, and I was like, "What are you doing, internet?" And then I had to
restart. Watching a Netflix movie on your internet. You better go get them.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, my roommates.
You got skipped. I don't think we skipped anyone. What was your question? I don't remember skipping anyone.
Jeff, we would never purposely skip you.
I mean, we're still here 2 hours and 43 minutes later. So,
Hey, Jeff, we're getting to the end of these comments. You get that.
Yeah, get that. Yeah, I didn't
remember
skipping anything.
You rewrite it. We're
you guys still in on Javonte? We talked about this a lot earlier. Yes and no. Depends on.
What would you give up pick-wise? We said going into it like a second easily. Like, do that.
Yeah. All right. So if you want a specific pick in Superflex, I'd say I'd give up the 109 or later. There you go. 109 or later.
That sounds great.
Who to start? Swift or ETN or Walker?
ETN.
Well, Walker's not going to play, so I'm going to start ETN.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if Walker plays, I'm scared. But I'll probably you have to play him if he plays. Start Mike White, Huntley, or Purdy. I actually have Huntley the highest. I have Huntley at 16, Mike White at 18, and Purdy I have down at 24. Versus Tampa is not my idea.
I agree.
Good. I will be open to starting Brock Purdy in other matchups, but against Tampa, I think I'm going to pass on him. I think that's going to be a low-scoring contest.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'll go with Huntley for the rushing upside. Pittsburgh doesn't scare
me. For
Jeff
redraft?
Wilson. Yeah, no, I think he's asking this week. I'll play Jeff Wilson this week, even whether Dobbins comes back.
It's definitely Jeff Wilson if it's just this week. Rest of the season, I'll still go with Jeff Wilson.
It's still Jeff Wilson, yeah. Even though he had a bad game.
Dynasty, it's JK.
Yeah, Dynasty is Dobbins. McKinnon is last for both.
Not this week.
Not this week. We'll see. Yeah, not this week. But I do think Dobbins could. I do think with how poorly Edwards and Drake and Hale have all played, I do think Dobbins will be. It's not a high bar to clear. I think he'll be the starter when he comes back.
Probably.
Even his poor performance will be good enough to be better than the other poor performers.
He'll get 11 carries for 49 yards.
Yeah, gross. Olave, Mike White, and a late 24 first for CD. Olave is almost worth the same as CD, so I'm not adding a 24 first. So that's out easily. Here's your question. All right, good. Trade away Mark Andrews and Antonio Gibson to get Hollywood Brown, Komet, and a 23-203. I'm going to take Andrews still. Yeah, easily.
The future will be brighter.
Yeah, Komet and Gibson are kind of similar-ish. I'd rather have Gibson in a regular format, especially with starting three running backs. I'd definitely rather have Gibson in that format. And then I'd rather have Andrews over Brown in the 203. So,
I agree.
We talked about Jeff Wilson. I'd say I trust him reluctantly, So we answered that. And then maybe he gets a goal line touch. Yeah.
That was Jeff. That's who we skipped, too.
Yeah, no. That's why I was so happy we got back to it.
Okay, cool.
You streamlined defenses with an asterisk or accent.
They're not great this week. I was looking at them earlier, actually.
Kansas City, if they're out there.
Kansas City is number one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, my number one defense this week is Dallas versus Houston.
Well, I don't think I'm more confident about a defense all year. Actually, it's literally like the worst offense against maybe the best defense in the league. One of that.
If you want someone, someone who's maybe not rostered as much would be Pittsburgh against Baltimore.
Pittsburgh is perfect.
Eagles, the usual suspects. Eagles,
the
Bills,
Raiders are
Bills are a good
really one that is not rostered at all. Raiders, going against the Rams.
What about Josh Jacobs? We talked about him a lot. I mean, I feel like. What would you give up? I mean, I said I'd give up the 109 or higher for Javonte. I think I could go to the 107 for Jacobs.
You better win this year.
Yeah, you better. Between Mostert, French keyboard. That makes sense. Who do you see the higher share between Mostert and Wilson and Singletary and Cook for this week? I still would go with Wilson and Singletary. But
if you made me choose, I agree.
It's an open conversation.
With Wilson, I still think he is the main back. With Singletary and Cook, I personally think it's still up for debate. We'll see. Tyler might go with Singletary pretty easily, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't have it that far apart. I have Singletary at 24 and Cook at 30.
Okay.
But I have Wilson at 23 and Mostert at 29. So a very similar split.
The Eagles' defense has a safe floor. Yeah, the Eagles' defense is going to be a great defense this week.
Against the Giants.
Yeah.
Hey boys. We start Higbee or Stream Hill, Fant or Bellinger.
Higby's been so disappointing.
I know, but if it's Baker or Wolford, it's Bryce Perkins is what killed him. So if it's Wolford or Baker, I'm okay with it. I'm gonna still go with Higby. Vegas is such an easy matchup for anything. I'm gonna go with Higby.
They're so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Higby.
Especially for
it's not Taysom Hill because he's on a bye. I have it Higby at 11, Fant at 13, and Bellinger at 17. Don't like the matchup against Philly.
I'd go back to Taysom Hill after this week, though.
Oh, absolutely. But for this week, it's going to be Higby for me. Just subscribe to the Patreon. Oh, thank you. Subscribe to the Patreon. Okay. I'll have to. I'll have to sort that out. My Patreon is a little bit messy. Just send you a message. Well, I get a message on Discord. So, yeah, the way that works is my Patreon. It comes with a Discord that's for patrons and a ranking sheet. The ranking sheet, it's not automated. I have to send you that. So I've been on the show, so obviously I haven't sent you that. I send you that. And then to do the Discord, it is integrated through Patreon. I can, but I don't like to because then I can't keep track of who's who. It's integrated into the Patreon, but you have to use a computer to do it. Apparently it doesn't work on the app. The Patreon app.
Congratulations on making the best decision of your fantasy career.
It's true. It is the best decision of your fantasy career. Watching this show is pretty good too.
Second best.
Yeah, second best. I mean, on this show, you get to hear from Josh too.
I mean, that's the thing. You get Tyler. You get that mind of Tyler, and like you get me. That's okay. But
Josh is better. Josh is better on live shows than I am. I'm better. I'm better off.
Oh, no, man. Like, okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
No, I used to watch. I watched some of your videos to like try to see if I could get that energy.
30-13. Heck yeah.
Yeah, 30-13.
Heck yeah.
No, I do always think I don't mind being on. I like doing the live shows, but I'm definitely better on the advice like from Twitter and Patreon, like just giving the answer in words, typing. Yeah, live I sometimes get on tangents like this one. I am the Lion. D-Hop late 23 first. Philly. What?
Philly's defense, maybe?
I guess. All of this for Jamar Chase. I'm going to still take Jamar Chase. Not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Raiders defense?
Why do you say Philly D-Hop twice? Yeah, Jamar Chase. Sorry.
It means the Philly defense. Yeah. Thoughts on the Raiders defense versus the Rams? The Raiders defense is so bad. I have them as a defense 11. I'm still a little shaky. They're not my first choice.
They're a starter in most leagues, though, if they're the defense 11.
Well, there's 12 teams and 11 defenses.
Exactly.
They're 11 defense. So.
And there's probably a lot of rosters that are
at this point. Also, some people are. Yeah, I was about to say that some people are having multiple defenses.
So the Raiders are probably a start in the majority of leagues out there.
Yeah, the Patreon app. Sorry, Patreon app developers is the worst app I have ever seen. It is horrible. Like Patreon does not work on the app. It doesn't work for me as a creator. Doesn't work for me as the Patreons I've subscribed to. The Patreon app is just trash. But the Patreon website works really well. So I use the website to manage my Patreon and to manage my subscriptions of the Patreons I've subscribed to. And I always suggest people use the Patreon website because the app is just straight garbage, unfortunately. But yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to make that a more appealing process. But it is everything works on the website. But on the app, it's a no-go.
Do something about it.
I can't do it.
This is actually hilarious.
How crazy that
I love it.
I love it. It's a good note to end on. Is that happened?
Yeah.
But yeah, I appreciate everyone for watching. This show ended up being very long.
Shows the three of us tend to go very long.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I come to expect 3 hours at this point.
Yeah, it ended up being very long.
I had my calendar marked off till 11.
Yeah.
I was ready.
You were ready. Yeah, you came prepared. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Next week we will be back here at 7:30. I already have the guest booked. And then we'll see after that.
Special guest.
Yeah, we'll see after that.
I'll see you next week, Ryan.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah. And yeah, don't forget to catch my, our recap show, which you guys might be on this week.
Yeah, I'll be
maybe.
There. I plan on being
hope
there.
So.
Yeah.
We will miss this week.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, I missed you guys. Honestly, I've grown accustomed to just being on that show with you guys. I do enjoy it. I enjoy streaming with.
That's my YouTube channel. If you want to catch.
Listen up. I wouldn't do the stream with you guys if I didn't enjoy it in some way, shape, or form. So, hey, shout out to you guys.
That's sweet. But anyway, thanks to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all later.
Peace.